Okay, well, I'm going to have that chat box there. Let me shift this over here so I can see things. Oh, wait, no, now I can't see anything.
I think we're on.
Is this
Hello?
Is this thing on? Is this on brand? Oh yeah.
Are we doing this?
Yep, no, we're doing it. It's legit.
Oh,
it's real. Oh gosh, I love you all so much. Thank you, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Where tonight we're gonna be welcome to Little Busters, where we are going to be playing Tales from the Loop. Again, hashtag pro streamer right there. If you do not know what Tales from the Loop is, it is this fantastic game that basically crams all the amazing things out of the 1980s. So whether it's things like E.T. or The Explorers or The Goonies, if it's like this kid coming of age type style film or movie or book or comic, that's pretty much what Tales from the Loop is, and it is so much fun. And I'm joined by some wonderful folks today who are kind of going to go through the basics of the game. This is our session 0. So while we hope to hit a little bit of the story later on this evening, right now we're going to go ahead and just try to learn how to play the game. We're going to go through character creation, and we're going to do some world building together, because that's probably two components of this game that really bring the heart out of, or pull the heart out of the players and throw it into this Tales from the Loop setting. And that's the building the characters themselves and then building a world together. So, like I said, our original setting is in Lake County, Illinois. And there's a couple towns located within the county itself. It's about 45 miles north of Chicago, and it is home to what is known as the newest Rick Synergy project, The Loop. And that is what kind of really adds all the funkiness to this game, is this Rick Synergy location called The Loop. And weird things go on there. What the public knows about it is that it's a large hadron particle accelerator, which we actually have one in real life, which is pretty darn cool. But it definitely wasn't around in the 80s. In the 80s, you'd get what we now will be playing with. Weird things come out of the Loop, and it's not necessarily just this really cool, particle collider. Now there's maybe portals inside of it, or weird experiments going on, or maybe they're constructing giant man-eating robots. Like, who knows? But weird things go on in this little town, and it's probably because of the Loop. So, now that we know that we're sitting and hanging out in Chicago, and because of season 1, we ended off in like a winter break, we'll start around the January time. So keep that in mind. And because we have some returning players as well from season 1, would you guys mind starting if we start with you to kind of go over your characters? I think it'd be great to learn like why you picked your character archetype, why you picked their iconic item, why you picked their NPC and their anchor. I think those are all really important things that kind of help us A, understand the character, and B, understand how you're perceiving and how you want to interact with the world. So is that cool? Dear Ashley and Silas? Dope.
Do you want that to be more like how we picked our original iconic item, you mean? Like if we changed it? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then we can discuss the mechanic of changing the iconic item, because that's something you're able to do. You're allowed to change a whole bunch of aspects about your character in this game based on things that actually impact you, which I think is a really fun mechanic. So, we can go ahead and just start with Ashley. That's cool.
Okay. Throwing me under the bus. First off, like normal. This feels familiar. Okay. So I'm Britt, and I'm playing Ashley, and Ashley is the jock archetype. So what that means for her is that primarily she's very baseball focused. But in the last season, because it was not baseball season, she was stuck in the dregs of playing basketball. That was very unfortunate. That didn't work out so well for her. But so when I initially picked the jock archetype, I did that because I was going a little true to life, not gonna lie. It was easy to pick jock because I was like a little baby jock at this age. It very quickly went very wrong and different for me in real life after that. But it just seemed like an easy enough starting point to pull from initial like 12-year-old reality, because I was very, very tall, and so I made Ashley very tall. I was not being particularly creative, but I did change a lot after the initial jock selection. Ashley, let's see, the iconic item that Ashley originally had was a Chicago Cubs baseball hat. That is no longer in Ashley's possession, if anyone recalls, from season 1. It was a happy memory of having gone to a ball game during a happier time of Ashley's life. I forget what else you wanted me to talk about because I started rambling. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think it's great that you kind of brought up your iconic item now, because the iconic item is this incredible mechanic within the game that, depending on like what you consider your iconic item, like I don't know about you guys when you were kids, but like me, like even right now, like I have a hat. I totally relate to Ashley. Like I live in this hat. This hat is my security blanket. And if I were ever in a situation and somehow needed to use my hat for something, I would get an additional +2 dice to roll. Because in this game, all you need is a d6, or well, a 6 to be successful in any type of action that you're attempting to do. So, you know, it involves like, you know, trying to like jump over to something or catch something, and I could, you know, pull my hat out and use my hat to catch the item. Well, maybe I'm not very good at sports or athletically, so I only get like a 1d6. So I can only roll one. I only have one chance to be successful, but because I'm using my hat, I now add 2 to that dice pool, and so I now have at least 3 chances to try to be successful in this action. Now
that is way more creative than I ever thought to get with the hat. I just threw it at something.
You could do your iconic item can be anything.
I could have caught something with it. Oh my god. Well then.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, like me as a GM, or the GM just in general, I can't take that item from you. I can't break it. I can't steal it. You can't misplace it. That is like an untouchable in the game. So that's why like a lot of people play with pets, because the pets can never get like hurt. And I would never do that, because the pets, we all love our pets. So now, what made Ashley decide to switch items? Because that's something you're allowed to do. When you're faced with certain situations, you overcome different types of trouble. What kind of led you to pick your new item?
So I had already got permission to switch to a baseball bat from Gnome. And I know that seems probably like cliche. However, if you watched season 1, Ashley ended up solving a lot of problems with a baseball bat.
Yep, that's true.
And so it ended up like kind of naturally becoming the actual iconic item that I was carrying around. So it seemed like the natural transition just to make that the iconic item. I smushed a lot of stuff. It was great.
Yeah, and it came in handy. And again, that's something now that hopefully we'll see more of it in this season. And it's just one element that kind of starts bringing your character to life. Now, who is your anchor? Who is your original anchor? And we can talk about what the anchor does in a moment.
Sure. So my original anchor was my character's mother. because Ashley always had a very, very strong relationship with the mother character. However, the events that sort of led up to season 1 were that Ashley's parents got divorced and her mother started working a lot, and Ashley started drifting away from her mother because her mother was not as there for her as she always used to be. So I've switched my anchor now to a character from season 1 named Meredith, who is Ashley's next door neighbor, who is only like a year younger than her, but like has sort of turned into Ashley's little sister, basically. They do their homework together because Meredith is super smart. Meredith can help Ashley with her homework because they're actually probably on like the same level of homework, even though Meredith's in junior high. But yeah, they're there for each other, and Meredith is someone that knows about the mystery, so Ashley can, vent to Meredith about this stuff, and Meredith's not going to think that Ashley's crazy, which is something that Ashley often needs because all this stuff is very crazy. And
now, what's fantastic about anchors in this game is that they're there to assist. They're again like this untouchable mechanic. They're there to provide information. They're there to help or assist in any possible way with the characters based on different types of needs that they may have. And one really great thing that these anchor people do is they can cure conditions. So if your character ends up being in what the game calls trouble, so let's say that they are running away from something and they trip and fall and they break a bone. Well, in this case, now they're hurt. And that is a mechanic in the game that's known as a condition. And the only way to get rid of these conditions, which impact how many dice you can now roll, to be successful during an action, is by going to their anchor to get this fixed, to, if it's an emotional thing, to talk it out, to kind of grow as a character, or to have your anchor take you to the hospital so you can be fixed. So that is a great mechanic in the game, and it leads to a lot of like just really deeply emotional relationships and forms of communication that a lot of kids do have and do experience with at least one person in their life. A lot of times it's a parent. You have a kid that just really loves and trusts their parent, and that's the person that makes them feel safe. Or maybe it's an abuela, or maybe it's a school teacher or a counselor or an older sibling or a younger sibling. For this game, there's at least one person in your life that just means the world to you. You trust them, they trust you, and you just have that relationship that whenever you see them, it anchors you to the ground. No matter how crazy things get, no matter how weird and bizarre and scary the world ends up being for you, you can go to them and they will make things okay. So that's what's great about the anchor. And in this case, Ashley was able to switch her anchor to somebody who really helped ground them, because again, Ashley's mom wasn't able to be around the same way that she needed her to be. So I think that's great. It's a really fun aspect to explore in the Tales from the Loop setting. And I'm really looking forward to learning more about everybody else's anchor, because these are characters that they're NPCs and we'll see them pop up throughout the game. Hopefully not often, because that means that you're hurt or scared or exhausted or just completely broken, but drama. Drama. Now, what would you say is Ashley's pride now?
That is the thing that I'm having a hard time with. Because initially Ashley's pride was, I forget the exact wording, but it was something to do with the fact that, like, because she was good at sports, like, the grown-ups tended to listen to her. I don't really think that is her pride now. I mean, the stuff that happened was all very impactful, and I don't know, because grown-ups are not really the people that Ashley wants listening to them right now. I guess.
No, because how old is Ashley again? 14?
14.
15? 14? Okay.
14, I think.
Somewhere along the line. She hasn't aged 14. Out of the game yet.
14. I have roll 20.
So that's something to think about. You don't have to pick it right now, but knowing what Ashley has been through, it definitely sounds like she had experienced some type of character development and some growth. So that'll be something to kind of reflect on and definitely kind of pinpoint. Do you know what their problem would be now? Because I believe your original problem was that they were failing classes.
Yeah, but Meredith has been helping with that, so
Yep, problem solved.
Meredith and Chloe were very integral. So yeah, I think that the problem is going to be sort of an extension from some of the things that were happening, where even though Ashley was we're not the oldest all the time. Sorry, Silas. Was usually the oldest and was often the one that got stuck in these leadership, okay, I've got the baseball bat, let's go situations. Ashley was ultimately the most weak-willed when it came to finding bodies and upsetting things. Ashley would just shut down because that stuff was not. It just so I honestly think that probably Ashley's problem is that she's having a very hard time being leadery in the face of very overwhelming, scary things. But I need to workshop that a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a very reasonable problem for a 14-year-old girl to have, that their life before learning about really bizarre things for, I don't know, engaging in technical murder.
Yeah, we did kill
that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think I will zero in on that. I think I will be having just extreme guilt from the fact that we killed someone.
Yeah.
Because that's a big deal.
Yeah, and we'll talk about all of that, friends. I'll do a recap of the story in a little bit. No, it's fine. Just to kind of help clue people in on where we're going to be starting from. Now, what would you say that Ashley's drive is?
Oh, Ashley wants to protect Sal and protect all the other kids. So Ashley is sort of stuck between wanting to protect everyone and be the big sister and being so scared of it all. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot to juggle, though. It's a lot to juggle for a kid. Now, so Sal is a robotic friend. You picked him up from the first season, and they were this kind of clunky 2-foot tall mishmashed part slightly sentient creature that now has a really cool paint job and curses all the time, but knows where bad things are. It's kind of like this radar that detects where these really nasty creatures are. So he's a good alert system for you all. And unlike the game in Tales from the Loop, you're able to give the players things that will help them through the mystery. And when the mystery is over or mystery is solved, those things just kind of magically vanish, or they disappear, or they go back to their homeworld. I thought that was a little silly. And so Sal's going to stick around. You will still have Sal, and we'll talk about your hideout and stuff, because that's still going to stick around as well. So did you settle on your pride then? Kind of wanting to just keep your protect people, or your drive? Yeah, that's what I meant. Do the things.
Yeah, I think that because I don't want the drive to be to solve the mystery, because that seems, so I think I want the drive to be to keep everyone safe as we try to solve it.
Okay, yeah, and that's a good drive. And what's cool is that that's another mechanic that can be used in the game to add add to your dice pool. So if you're forced in a situation and to overcome a certain type of trouble, you can look at your drive and just kind of like push through it, because this is what you would do. This is totally up your alley. Trying to think what else really kind of goes into character creation. Those are really like the deep, like emotional aspects, psychological aspects of the character. As far as like skills, what would you say that Ashley is most skilled in?
Ashley is most skilled at being strong, like hitting things hard at it, and running.
Yeah, well, I mean, because you're a jock, like that's what you do. Yeah. I'd hope you're strong or able to move out of the way. There's another word that I just can't freaking think of at this moment.
But I do think that, secondarily, I think not necessarily leadership, but if you're talking about like the actual mechanical skills, then lead is something that I'm, aiming towards as being one of the higher skills.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're gonna go ahead and switch on over to let's get to know one of our new cast members, and then we'll bounce up to Silas and then bounce back to a new cast member, because both the players of Ritter and Darcy are new to our Tales from the Loop game. Welcome. We're very excited to have you both. Which one of you would like to go ahead and introduce your character? Either or I can randomly pick. Whichever.
I can go first.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. A volunteer. Fantastic. I hate making decisions.
Volunteers for you.
All right. Oh, hello. I'm going to be playing Ritter Dalka, who is going to be the rocker. So, cool. No one's saying anything, so I'm not sure if I should just progress.
Yeah, go ahead. Let us know a little bit like about the rocker. Do you have? I can, if you don't have the book in front of you, I can read from the book too.
I do. I have the little write-up thing. If you want me to read the write-up off the.
Oh yeah,
the book.
Yeah. Go ahead, go for it. Yeah, that way, folks who don't know what like this is your class. This is
right. Yeah.
Like if you're a barbarian or a rogue or something, this kind of gives you, your attributes and lets folks know a little more about your character before they even get to know your character.
Totally. Okay. It says, it was a worn cassette tape that changed your life. When that song had finished playing, you had found a home. You're an insane hard rocker who is high on life and play music so loud that the windows crack. In any case, you wish it would be like that. But you've learned to play a C on an electric guitar, and as soon as you will form a band down at the recreation center. Key skills are move, charm, and empathize.
Excellent. Thank you for introducing us to the rocker class. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about Ritter? Okay.
So because we're coming into the new year, it's also going to be kind of coming into the middle of the school year. So Ritter is in a very interesting position because he is freshly moved from California. So he has a very specific, like, yeah, man, like kind of mentality. I can say probably with over the winter break that he's spent there that he has gotten over the thrill of, hey, it snows, to, oh God, this is awful.
Fair enough, especially because depending on when Ritter moved here, we had that horrible blizzard of 1980 something that decided to dump like 2 or 3 feet of snow and just shut the entire city of Chicago down. And our kids experienced that last season and were trapped in the mall for a whole night because of it. Yeah, so talk about some, snow shock.
Let's say that he moved right before the storm hit.
Oh, no. Oh, that's the worst time. Like, no, I don't want to move here, Mom. We gotta go back.
Dude, like, this is not rad at all. Like, but I'm sorry. That is how I'm going to talk. If it's obnoxious, I can totally like tone it down. But
no way. Please live your dream.
But yeah, he's like he likes going outdoors. You know, he likes swimming and skating and anything and everything to do with music, and specifically of the rock genre. Though he is tapping into some punk and some synth now because it's so prevalently ingrained into us by the late 80s. So that's like his general like intro. New kid, hates the snow now, but he's super excited to go to school.
Yep. I mean, there is some police activity at Hawthorne Heights Middle School last semester, technically. So, yeah, there's some rumors and whatnot going around, and some, kind of suspicion as to what happened to their principal. So, really good time to come move out to this area. You're just getting a double whammy
clueless.
That's
awesome.
Fantastic. Now, what is let's see.
Should I talk about my iconic item?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Ritter has this ring. It's a necklace, but it's mainly the ring. The reason why he wears it on the necklace is because it doesn't fit on his hands yet. It's sweet. It's pewter. It's shaped like a wolf. Nice big fangs and stuff like that. And it was given to him by his mother, which she says it used to belong to his father.
I love that we're going to explore this later. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. I'm realizing that I dug myself into a hole because he's new. So I'm just like, shit, I can only connect everything to my mom.
No, it's fine. So here's when we get into the world building, we'll be able to make a couple NPCs. Excuse me. So there could be, we can come up with an NPC to give you a little, more connection into the town. You've been here for a couple weeks now. It shouldn't be difficult to kind of get you acquainted with somebody. Maybe you hang out at the arcade, or maybe you love the record store and you get to hang out with mice. So it'll be a good time. We'll make it work.
Okay.
Now, what is Ritter's pride? What do they pride themselves in?
He always prides himself for seeing the best in others and raising it up. Like, he's like a hype man. Like, even if like there's someone that's kind of like, hey, look, I drew this dinky drawing of like a sunflower.
Everything kind of froze.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Hello?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, cool.
Oh,
I thought my internet cut out.
I did too.
I was like, oh, God.
Oh, no.
Okay, cool. All right. Reassured. We're good.
And we're back. Hey.
A second break.
Yeah, right? Just wanted to test you. Make sure you're paying attention.
I just got all of us panicked. That's the best part.
Yeah, right? There's like your
Anxiety attacks. Let's go.
Is it me? Is it you? Is it me? No, wait, nobody's moving. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
No, it's fine. Hi, welcome back. So,
We're good. Nothing happened.
your pride. It's the 80s. It happened. Internet
Oh, God,
really wasn't a good, strong thing back then.
No. God. Okay, so I don't even remember what was the last thing you guys even heard, or should I just start over from the beginning?
I say go ahead and start from the beginning. You were talking about like almost like a leadership type thing. Like they're the hype man.
Yeah, like even though he's in a new place, and hasn't had an opportunity to make a lot of new friends yet, I'm sure like the one or two people who have talked to him in the lunchroom, he is just like, man, her earrings are rad, super cool. And yeah, that guy, I think he totally plays hockey. And that's awesome. Like, he's just like he's a very positive child. So
you're basically literally just the bard.
yeah, basically. Yes, I will be the literal bard. Bill and Ted edition.
I love it.
I love it.
So beautiful. This is gonna be great. Oh man, that's what's just so fun about this game is that we literally could have 20 rockers in a party, and none of them will be the same. Ritter, you're a ray of sunshine. It's so great. Oh, it's gonna be
brings
awesome.
that sunshine back to California.
Now let's rein some of that sunshine in a little bit. What's Ritter's problem? What is he struggling?
My mom wants me to give up this rocking nonsense because she lived that life and she lived that life hard, and that's how she ended up with me. And she wants me to give that up and to pick a proper academic course. And, I don't know, go grow up and stuff, be an accountant, a lawyer, whatever. So he is faced with the oppression of growing up, and he doesn't want to.
That's rough. That's rough, man. Parents, as Daquan would say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'll be we will have opportunities to explore that in the game. Again, that's there really should be like a trigger warning for Tales from the Loop, because some of the themes that people bring up and talk about are very real to a lot of people, especially when you're a kid and you don't realize that somebody's problem may have actually been your problem as a kid, and to act that out or to see it act out, it's just like, whoa, this got deep. The game can get very deep. So it's a good reminder that at any point, if there is ever something that makes you feel uncomfortable, we can fade to black. We'll just fade the scene unless it's something that you behind the scenes are letting me know that it's okay and you want to work through. We can work on it together. And there will always be points after the game to kind of sit down and have a little debriefing just to make sure that you're in a good and safe place. And that, that's for all the players. I think that's something that's incredibly important to have at a table, especially in a game like this. It is very fun. It is very lighthearted, but it can get dark very fast because we've all had childhoods and a lot of them sucked. So, but we're here together. We're here to hopefully have a good game and overcome some of those problems and some of those topics. So just a little heads up on that. Now, what would you consider to be Ritter's drive?
Okay, so I thought of this and you can tell me if this is not applicable or anything like that, but because of mom pushing against the rocker thing, and yet she gave me this cool, awesome ring, right? I don't know who my dad is. My dad's out there somewhere, and I'd like to meet him one day, because in my mind, I have a Rolodex of 50 different rockers that could be my dad.
That totally works. That is such a drive if I've ever seen a drive. Like, you've got this kid that's literally going into like bars because it's the 1980s and they didn't care. Like, what a kid in a bar, it's fine, whatever. Especially if it's local. Are you my father? Are you my father? Yeah. Isn't that like a book or something?
Well, it's like I imagine him like looking at like Rolling Stone magazines and stuff like that, and he's like, "Oh, Tom Petty, we kind of like have the same nose, like totally, maybe Bowie."
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, my mom like refuses to tell me like what who she was a groupie of or groupies of, so it's hard for him. So he just makes things up.
Sure. Wait, Ritter. Poor little Ritter. Now, who is going to be Ritter's anchor? Was it Mom or?
I mean, it probably sounds like Mom for now, but I think maybe as we organically move through the story and he interacts with other people, I'm going to do the same thing as Ashley and probably jump. Because mom's kind of a toxic person. Like, sure, if I break my arm, I'm going to go to her first. But hey, if I get to know Mice better, maybe I'll pick Mice as my anchor or something like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And that's totally fine. Again, I think it's one thing that's really beautiful about this game. It's a game of narration. It's a game of storytelling. So as you see fit, if it is appropriate for your character to grow attached and to feel safe and comfortable with some other, person in the game, then absolutely we can go down that path and we can change it up. I know, awesome. #mice. We love you. We love you so much, Mice. Oh, Now, what would you say is Ritter's best skill? What is Ritter really good at?
I think based off at least looking at the key skills right now, I think he empathizes really real well with people.
Excellent. So we've got a little extra heart in the game. It'll be great. Kind of like how GM and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting Robbie's character, Buck. We had a couple players with a lot of heart and soul. And just
those sweet children.
It's precious. Protect them at all costs. So, and last quick question, because I should have asked this of Ashley as well. What is Ritter's favorite song? What is their anthem, their theme song? What is the thing that is just always bumping in their ears?
I think Ain't Nothing But a Good Time by Poison right now. First thing that came to mind.
Solid choice. That's a good song. It's a good song. Ashley, do you have a favorite song?
I really should have messaged Pro and asked them what the last thing, last concert Pro and Ashley went to would have been or something, because when you're that age, your favorite song is the most recent amazing thing you heard.
Yes. I'm excited for 89 because I think this is really a big year for New Kids on the Block. So just
no. So I'm gonna defer my answer for a moment briefly because I know that Pro is here and I can bother them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I'm Googling.
Hello. You're wonderful.
Yes. Ritter, thank you so much for joining our game. We're very, very excited to watch this little California sunshine grow and see how he interacts with the other players and the world around him. We're going to go ahead and kick it back up to returning player with Silas, our favorite boy from Sweden.
From Sweden. Hello, everybody.
He's Russian.
I swear to God. So I am playing. My name is Michael. Hello. And I am playing, at least for today, Silas, who is, because this is something weird that is part of the game mechanics. Silas's birthday is in January, and he's 15. So once his birthday hits, he is going to age out of the game. And not be cool enough to be part of the adventure anymore, I guess.
Or be so cool that you're doing other adventures.
Yeah, somewhere else. But yeah, so Silas, I don't know how, I guess it depends on how the rest of tonight goes, what kind of scenes and stuff we end up being, whether or not he's just for tonight or he's next week as well. But Silas is a beautiful, wonderful little Swedish boy whose father worked on the original loop and has been transplanted to here to work on this newest-ish branch of the loop. and he's got a whole lot of problems. Like his mom has vanished, and is probably a frog. I think that's where we landed. Became a frog monster.
Not a frog.
Not a frog monster. I have not seen any evidence to the contrary so far, so I'm just going to kind of stick with that. His dad is a very bad science man. And yeah, so Silas's last episode was kind of rough. It was revealed that he ran away from home and was living in a military bunker. But after the mall fiasco, Jet offered to take him in. So I think he's been living with Jet for a little while. But besides that, nothing else has really changed for Silas. What do you want to know?
Well, it's not I who needs to know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have like listeners and viewers and stuff like that.
New players.
Like we're just hanging out.
Listeners, people who are going to tune in later and watch the VOD or on YouTube.
That's right. That makes sense.
So we know Silas is 15. He is a sweet, weird kid.
Yeah, he is the weirdo archetype.
Yes, there you go. Why don't you, can you let people know what the weirdo is? Do you have it handy?
So,
no, I can.
I do not have it handy.
I've got it somewhere. That's the hideout. That's that. That's rules. There we go. Pro again. Pro jam right here. So the weirdo archetype. They make fun of you for your clothes, your interests, your choice of words, and call you weirdo. But you don't care. They know nothing about your thoughts and feelings or what you've been through. You want the world to see that you are different. One day, you will outshine them all. That really sounds ominous, though. Like, I will outshine them all.
It does. Like, his ultimate goal is to become a god, apparently.
Right. I mean, I could see it for Silas.
Honestly. So his iconic item, he has a pair of these black silk gloves that his mom owned. That he likes to slip them on because one of his favorite, he loves reading, but his favorite author is Agatha Christie, and his favorite like novel or like character is Poirot. So he fancies himself a master detective. So whenever he slips the gloves on, he's going into like detective mode.
Now, what did you do? How did those gloves come in handy? I think this is a great example of seeing an iconic item really being used to help and assist in a moment of a game. You want to go ahead and kind of talk about that a bit?
So, as I recall, I mainly just used them as gloves. I didn't do anything creative like catch something in them or anything like that. But
I mean, they're on your hands and catch.
I mean, well, maybe. I don't think he was athletic to even try it, but athletic enough. But I used them, to like, I would put the gloves on and investigate, like when we found that busted open door that some monster evidently broke through. Investigate what kind of like scratches or marks were on it. Use the and the very last instance in which Silas used the gloves was during the fight with the frog thing. The tadpole monster, where at the Bibi frog, his mother, where he after they killed it, or I should say after Daquan killed it by being way cooler than all of the rest of us, he put on his glove and like shoved his hand into it to see if there was anything interesting, and he did. He found a floppy disk. But those were the
came in handy. And that may not have even been found had it not been for having the extra dice added because of the iconic item that allowed you to be incredibly successful. I mean, you rolled like I think 3 successes on that. I thought you were able to get a lot of questions on it. Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. You totally.
So basically, I saved the show. I won D&D,
yes,
and now we have season 2.
You solved everything. We all owe thanks to Silas. So what about, unfortunately we didn't get to meet your anchor last season, but is your anchor still
we
your
didn't.
Anchor?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, he never used his anchor, which is his aunt who works at the library, who's like really cool. So we never met her, so that's kind of a bummer. Just imagine like Phil and Lil's mom. That was what I was picturing for his awesome aunt, or aunt. But yeah, I never met her because I don't think Silas ever got his hands dirty enough to actually get into trouble, like real trouble. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if his anchor has switched. If it had switched to anybody, it would probably be Jet. But because of the time he's been spending there. But to be perfectly honest, right. I don't even know if he spent every day there after having been invited to stay.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something Silas to definitely think about. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just been kind of shut in still. So for right now, I don't know if the anchor's changed.
Okay. Yeah, and that's not a problem. If it's something that you want to switch up, you can, because if Silas ages out, then you don't even have to worry about it. So we'll play by ear. We'll see how it goes. What is Silas's problem?
Silas's big problem was the fact that his mom is MIA, which has led him to like snoop through his dad's shit, which made it pretty much grounded him for like a month and a half. So it's caused some not great stuff.
Yeah. We kind of. I mean, he didn't even really face it because he ended up running away instead. So the problem is probably still heavily lingering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what would you say that Silas's drive is?
His drive, he goes out of his way to uncover secrets. So if he thinks something is hidden, he will probably linger dangerously long to try to discover everything that there is to find about a situation.
And he does it very well.
So far,
so far, we've been pretty lucky with those dice rolls.
I've been incredibly lucky. Yeah, he rolls 10 dice when he uses his bonus item.
Damn. Now, excuse me. What's Silas's favorite song?
Silas's favorite song is and always has been "Took the Words Right Out of My Mouth" by Meatloaf. Meatloaf is his absolute favorite singer of all time. He's only shared that with like a couple of people, really, because he's incredibly embarrassed about it.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about, though. It's Meatloaf. Like, oh,
I know. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Silas is mortified.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's great. It's Meatloaf. It's beautiful, so pure.
And I will say, I have the beginnings of a new character. If you would like me to talk about that now, or save it for later.
How dare you?
Let's. I think
Silas isn't leaving.
Yeah. We're gonna switch over to Darcy and learn a little bit about her, and then let's come back to new character.
Talk about the death of Silas. Yes.
If you awesome people donate some bits to the channel, we can maybe de-age Silas. Just saying,
How many bits do I
That's how
have?
that works? Wow.
Like, right now.
I only have 10.
Silas.
Save Silas. Oh my goodness.
It's good considering that one time that I forgot my name was Silas and not Sal, and I just started answering for the robot.
Oh, so great.
Wonderful.
Oh, there will always be Wham references. Like, I love Wham. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. It's fine.
That's all I had.
Oh, that's great. I don't even think do I have any? I don't think I do. I think I'm fresh out. Oh, I have 15. We'll do it in a moment because that's important.
Can I start a donation, like a bit cheer to kill Silas? And let's just see who wins.
Well, I mean, technically,
Actually, no.
from the flood, so kids.
I'll wait for
can't
things from the
die.
flood to bring him
I
back.
was gonna say,
to
kids
kill
don't
him.
die, do they?
Yeah, back
He just
then.
disappears in the water.
Although
Rises
The next
up.
baby frog that you guys fight, Silas.
He
Just to
was
make sure
the
I'm
thing
not,
from the
like-
flood.
just to make sure I'm not like imparting my will on you, Michael. If you absolutely are done with Silas, I will stop the campaign.
No.
You have no choice in the matter. It will.
Oh goodness.
You have agency over your own character. I'm just enthusiastic.
Oh, so great. Now, last but not least, another fresh, brand new face to our party and our hearts, Darcy.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. Oh hi. Hi. So Darcy, thank God, Darcy's also a weirdo, and that's already been read out loud. So I don't need to go book the book again.
You're also going to take over the world someday.
Yeah, apparently. That's terrifying. That's good. So little Darcy, she is she also just would have moved to the area. So she actually way different from California. She moved in from Toronto, Canada, because, do what you know. And so it's where I'm from. And so her parents divorced, actually, and her mom was always from here. And her Nana's here, actually. And so her mom's moved back in with her mom's mom, my Nana. And that's why Darcy's kind of here now. So she's a weird little odd duckling. That being said, though, her Nana is actually her anchor. Because she's actually always had a close relationship with her kind of growing up. She was away from her for a while, but she always would do annual visits. And that is like her heart. Her grandmother's like, her Nana's the one person who actually believes whatever she says, or at least appears to believe. And also is the only person who thinks that little Darcy has any drawing capabilities whatsoever. Because so her iconic item, it all ties together, it's great, is a drawing pad. And so she's often found drawing normally people that she meets, which is why this is great that I've gone last. But she doesn't draw them as people because she can't really draw people. She can draw ghosts, though. So the greatest part is I actually started doing this.
Oh my gosh, yes! Oh, that's
I'll take a
amazing.
better photo and post it after.
I need to see.
She's already
That's gonna be the
plotting
cover
her
of my first album.
What an odd specialty.
Well, it's because they're like blobs. Like, this would be the weirdest thing. But
cute.
Anyways.
So good.
Anyways.
That is amazing. That's brilliant.
It's great. It all ties together. So that's a lot of her. And so her Nana is like the only person who thinks that she can draw, and she just thinks it's the greatest little thing on earth. Her nickname for a little while was Ghost Girl because not only did she only draw ghosts, but she's also really sneaky. That's actually her highest skill, is sneak. And she just like creepily watches people. And, but she doesn't mean anything bad. But they notice her and she's like, "Oh, hi. Okay, hi." And so, oh, this is just her.
She's gonna be so great. Just I can see the awkward scenes already. Like, just
yeah.
it's gonna be good.
She doesn't even really think she's awkward or anything. She really just is. It's just her. And so she, going through the rest of this, she gets bullied at school a lot. That has actually been her problem. That was her problem at her last school, and she kind of foresees it being a bit of a problem here too, just because she is this weird little thing that watches people creepily and then draws them as a ghost, which could be considered a little maybe morbid. I don't know. Maybe some people find it morbid.
Probably a lot morbid, you know. Yeah.
You have accessories too. It's great. That's how I know it too. And Yeah. So she gets bullied a lot. The other reason why she gets bullied a lot is due to her pride, which is she kind of came to the conclusion at a fairly young age that she's not heterosexual. She's very much she's not quite sure what she is. She knows she's into women, she's into men, she likes people, which is why she likes to watch people. And therefore, like especially if she has like a crush on somebody, that ghost will have a lot of hearts around them. So
precious.
Yeah. So it's great. So that ties into her pride. Her drive is she's drawn to anything strange or different, which actually probably describes her taste in people as well. But she's really, really curious, which is why she feels like she needs to sneak around, because otherwise she's going to scare them. And so if I just get closer, I can watch and then take notes that way. That's how I remember things. And so this is pretty much how she's gonna be.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. Like, Darcy is amazing. Oh my goodness.
I love her. She's my little child.
Yes, and please just keep like drawing like different ghosts, like all game.
That's pretty much it's gonna be every single session is so I realized I didn't grab a notepad, and so I was like, whatever, there's blank paper here, let's just start scribbling.
Yes.
And my gosh. Darcy Ghost Girl Brown is what I've got in my character sheet now, which is great. But yeah, so then her favorite song is Total Eclipse of the Heart, which she likes to use whatever she's using as a drawing utensil and pretend that it's like a microphone, and she'll just start to rock out sometimes, but normally only when she knows nobody's around.
I mean, is there anybody that can't not rock out to that song?
Come on, really. That is
like,
no.
That is an ultimate 80s jam right there. That is timeless.
It really is. It really is.
It's
beautiful. But yeah, no, she's this little, kind of spooky ghost girl. She dresses a lot in like blacks and stuff like that, has an opal necklace, and she's very much into like, she thinks if there's actual ghosts, oh my God. She wants to go there.
There's lots of weird things that happen out in this area that a Ritter for certain would not, that shit does not happen out there. Out in California. Nope. A lot of
weird things that happen in California.
Different thing. But like there's whispers of like weird creatures that roam the nights, and obviously people going missing or people going crazy. Maybe a weird fog kind of engulfs the entire town, or strange sounds are heard in the night that are very mechanical in nature. Some kid swears that he saw a robot dinosaur. I'm just saying, like that, that rumor definitely spread around. But you never know what goes on in the loop. And the adults are too busy ignoring it or not wanting to believe that things are a little more weird than usual here in Lake County, Illinois. And that is really where the kids come involved. This is the whole point of the game of Tales from the Loop is the adults are just busy adulting. And if Silas were to age to 16, he would just kind of lose sight of that youthful, just that young need of discovery and of curiosity, and instead
and he would
branch
crumble
off
to
to
dust.
something else. Yeah, just instantly vanish. Like I said, things were weird here. It's the loop. Like, that's normal. There are no adults. All the adults came from other cities. Like, they were all imported in. Rick Synergy knows what they're doing. So
I do have a question. So Silas is 15, Ashley's 14, and I somehow magically did not catch either of Ritter or Darcy's ages.
I don't think I said it. I forgot that part.
We didn't say.
Okay.
We both forgot. Ritter's 14.
Okay, cool.
Darcy's 12.
yes.
So is Ritter a freshman, or are you like an older junior high kid?
He's a freshman, yeah.
Okay,
for
cool.
sure.
Awesome. So we'll have Darcy. And this is actually kind of a great way to shift on over into developing the town. Boom, 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 boop. I'll do a full readout during the actual first episode of kind of explaining the town, what's around. For now, I'll kind of briefly go over what is already established. And what I would like each of you to do is to create a new location or to claim like an older location that maybe we didn't use from last season. And kind of tell us a little bit about it, because this is your world. So, find a place that you would be really interested in kind of exploring or using for some type of like safety or information gathering or just a place to hang out, anything of that sort. There'll be a couple restrictions only just because it's Illinois. So we don't have there's no mountains here. There is a lake. So that's amazing. Y'all heard that, right?
Is that you?
What is that? Who did that? Is that for Silas?
Yes, I think I saw Save Silas when I went back over to the other screen. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Oh, that was one of my children that donated.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Hashtag Save Silas. So we'll go ahead. I'm just going to quickly kind of go over a list of locations that were already established, and you can alter something. You can add. Make sure that you do pick an NPC that will kind of operate or hang out or work in this particular location. So. Starting from the top, we've got the Cook Memorial Library, and that's where Mrs. Norris, who is Silas's very cool, eccentric aunt, works. And is there any other little tidbits that you would like us to know about the library? What I have so far is this is the local library. It's quite popular due to the amount of books that one would normally not find in a small city like this. The reference section is quite prodigious. The Mrs. Norris works to keep things tidy and organized, and she is Silas's very cool, eccentric aunt.
That sounds good to me. I don't know.
Cool. I mean, it's a library, so
sick. It's got a really cool statue in the front of you can't tell if it's a lion or a griffin because it's kind of bad, but it's really cool looking, at least to me.
Oh,
cool. So it's
wonderful.
very poorly crafted. That's fantastic. I love it. That down so we can read it. The next established location is the arcade, and no childhood is complete without the arcade experience. Stryker McFadden, who you're pretty sure Stryker isn't his real name, is the unlikely owner of this establishment. He runs the place like a military base and makes sure that any riffraff and troublemakers don't cause any problems. When he's not behind the counter, he's playing Contra. Our adorable friends Luciano and Buck like to hang out there frequently. Anything that you would like to add to the arcade?
That's for nerds. I don't go there.
I know. This was a question that we were asking before Ritter and Darcy had popped in. Is anybody good with a computer?
Oh yeah.
Cool beans.
Not with tech in the slightest.
Special guests.
They have to be good at tech, though. They can't.
Zero and Tinker.
Dope.
Yeah, Tinker program calculate, all of them are 0. Sorry.
No, you are just cutie pies and buff gals. Like this is great. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, my new character's not going to help much either.
Excellent.
How dare you?
I'm so glad.
See, now I want the new character because it's just
magnanimous
just writes itself.
What?
Oh my gosh. Alrighty.
Holy moly.
So,
Oh, good times.
oh goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bimbo Gamer. Holy smokes! Thank you so much for that donation.
Ooh.
Jeez, Jesse.
Dang, dang, that is far too kind of you. With Silas, we're gonna have to have a conversation.
Silas
tell
could
me,
get
if-
melted in this thing.
Listen, if this whole season takes place within 27 days, fine. I just put his birthday on my birthday, so when the 27th hits, he crumbles to ash and flies back to Sweden.
He could fly away, remember?
As Swedes do.
That's how that works.
There's special power.
Obviously.
He joins the Vikings.
Yeah.
There's a flaming boat and everything. It's fine.
This is we love Silas. It's just we love you too much, buddy.
I love him too. But this new character I made is a real mess.
Do they all have an awesome voice?
We do really like messes.
I don't really think so. Not yet at least.
We also do have Silas's voice. Alrighty, so the next location is the record store, which we actually frequented a couple times last season. Mice is this kind of like badass punk rocker who just kind of like hangs out there and probably smokes a lot of pot and makes sure that kids aren't getting into drugs. Like she's got a little bit of a moral compass, but will totally try to swindle money from you or just. She doesn't give a fuck. I mean, she's just badass. You know, she's got piercings all over and cool dyed, spiky hair. Just an awesome person to kind of like be around. Very, very popular, despite her not wanting the popularity. I know Daquan really liked her. Buck and Silas. Silas got a good interaction with her as well, so she's kind of hanging out there. Is there anything you'd like to add to the old record store? And this is not like your like Sam Goody of the era. This is just like an actual like record store.
Actual record store. They don't have it like they don't have like a listening room or something like in there, do they? Where you can like preview music.
So. No, not a legitimate one, but like if you got on Mice's good side, she'll probably just like open up whatever and throw it on like a big sound system and just play it for the whole store.
Okay, cool. I was just curious. All right.
Yeah, it's like this little tiny shop. There's like a counter and then like 6 rows of like really good stuff. A row of like pop hits that just like sell really fast and she doesn't give a rat's ass about, and then like a door to the back room that always has like a big smoke plume coming out of it. So that's it. That's the shop. It's just like really low key. Probably closed down in like 96.
Oh, sadness. How does this fare in comparison to a record shop, say in Los Angeles? Super tiny?
Oh, super tiny. And like not even like this is the Midwest. Like I think that's a fantastic question because geographically the Midwest is late on all types of trends. It'll pick stuff up from New York before California might get it, but the New York stuff and California stuff never liked each other anyways. So you have this middle of nowhere place. There's really no internet. They're behind. So like that like new wave stuff that you're really into, these Mr. Midwestern folks aren't quite into like Devo yet. Like it's just not there. Eurythmics probably didn't do too well yet.
No, that's fine. Maybe Ritter could teach my something at some point.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great that's a great future scene, and that's I'd love to have that type of interaction. You know, get in there, figure out how they want to interact with the other NPCs throughout town, because you never know when she can come in handy. Maybe there's electronic device that you don't have access to, but she does. Or if you want a tattoo, she knows a guy. So,
Oh, sweet.
things like that. So that's the cool record store, and it literally is just called Record Store. Like it's record store, like neon lights.
That's how cool it is.
That's how cool it is. Yeah, that's how you know it's cool.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not Sam Goody or Suncoast. So there's also the Liberty Theater. The only theater in town, and it's outfitted for 2 screens and 2 screens alone. The building, though, has been around since the 1930s and offers that old-timey feel to patrons. The place fills up rather quickly on weekends, so if you're looking for a more intimate experience, skipping school and going during the day is how you do it. So just an FYI on that. There are no attached NPCs here, so if you would like to apply an NPC here, by all means, we can add something there.
I had not attached an NPC to that, but that was one of the locations that I had requested from season 1, just because I do skip school sometimes and watch movies.
Heck yeah.
That's
why your grades were failing.
Well, yeah. I had this sort of idea that they have like a special night where they do like just real bad horror movies, and that's Ashley's jam.
Yes,
and,
sure.
So doesn't miss a single one of those nights. Which is real funny because Ashley gets real stressed out with actual horror. But imagined horror.
Right, like she's like really good with it. She handles well. How many books has she read now? Of the horror genre?
I probably 1.5 because I think that we maybe got a little bit busy.
Sure.
With the stress of the death.
Yeah. So next. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It did occur to me because you had asked me the song question, and then I went back and I asked Pro for an idea. We and I don't know if this is getting too far into the story that we shouldn't know yet, but you left us on a cliffhanger.
Oh, I did.
I didn't know if in the intervening time if you were going to have it that Pro had gone missing. I didn't know if that was like part of it.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
We'll find out.
That I won't talk about us having gone to a concert because I'll just leave it.
There's mysteries afoot.
Yes. We've got to start somewhere. Tie it all together. That's what Marvel does, so everybody's got to do it, right? Let's see. All right. Next location is really now only applicable to Darcy. Because this is the Hawthorne Middle School.
Okay.
So this is where you would be going to school, and most kids hate going there. It's basically a prison. All right, so it's not a prison, but you're almost in high school, and this is the least coolest place to be caught hanging out after school at. The playground is old, the classroom smells of wet wood, and anything humiliating that's ever happened to a kid happened here. And like all schools, there are good teachers and not so good teachers. Chances are you have a mix of both, and you can rely on at least one to help you out in a bind. And one of the clubs that was actually formed because we had so many hicks in the game was we had a 4-H club, which was perfect. Because Lake County, Illinois in the 1980s is nothing but farmlands and like small, super like suburb developed places, and then just surrounded by farms. And so we had like 4 hicks or something in the game, and they made this 4-H club. And if you don't know what a 4-H club is, great, because I didn't either.
Oh, I do. We're good. I
just learned so much that episode.
Right. I was like castrating the patriarchy or something, like that was, a book or something.
Oh my god, that's right, Chloe.
Chloe is good.
I love it.
Chloe.
Oh my god.
Just learning a lot of things from that 4-H club there. And there's what do they have? They had a baby cow. I think there is a baby cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a baby cow.
It's something about dominating a cow.
Subjugating.
Subjugating.
Yeah, that's a better word. That's a better word for that, probably.
That's a much better word.
Whew, then we're going into a whole different game. Tales from the Loop After Dark. Oh my. Yeah. Great job, Silas.
Blink.
Wonderful.
So,
As my mind's in D&D, it's dominate person. So
yeah, right?
There you go.
So the middle school actually played a very important role in last season. It's kind of where the principal met his climactic ending. As you will learn, Dr. Rose was the principal of Hawthorne Middle School, who, if you weren't part of that particular adventure, upon returning to school after like the holiday break, he is no longer there. He met an untimely demise. No one is really sure. The authorities are saying that he had stayed after school and had a heart attack, and because there was no one there to help him or call 911, unfortunately he passed away in his office. So the vice principal is now acting principal, and the VP spot is currently open. There's a lot of rumors that are flying around as to what happened to the principal, and that's actually something I think would be great for you all to make up. I would love to hear one rumor about Principal Dr. Rose. What happened to him? Take a moment. Think about it. Oh, Ritter's already got this? Let's go.
Considering he's the new kid and he hears things, the high schoolers that talk shit about the middle school, that he was a lizard person.
That is bizarrely close and accurate.
Oh, really?
I mean,
I could change that.
No,
I could change
it's great. That is lizard people. When did that conspiracy theory start?
That he was a lizard person, and that he had to go back to the New Order or something like that.
New World Order.
Oh my goodness.
Wikipedia's.
So good. So good already. Oh my gosh. All right. What's another rumor that you've been hearing floating around?
I got one.
What?
Because I'm all about that drama stuff. So sometimes Meredith and Ashley will hang out at the diner where Meredith's mom works as a waitress, and they'll do their homework in the booth and get free food because teenagers love free food, and the waitresses really like to talk. And at one point, Ashley cued in to a conversation they were having about the principal and his mysterious disappearance. And the ladies of the waitstaff were talking about how much of a catch he was and how they don't think he died at all. I heard that he went off with a lover. And that's why he's gone. He didn't die. He ran off with someone. Men like that's far too good looking to just die.
Oh, gosh. It's amazing.
Beauty never dies.
I love it.
Oh, that's so good, though. And, like, so
It's a good
fitting,
one.
too, because, I mean, the principal, Dr. Rose, was a pretty well-tolerated person, a well-respected person from the, from the town. And to have somebody who had been there for several years and teaching kids and seeing them go off to high schools and colleges and whatnot is a pretty sad and devastating thing for the town to deal with. But kids and gossip, and stuff just gets weird and out of hand. And now apparently he ran off with a lover, just left all of that behind and said, nope, we'll pass. I love
They
it.
went to Canada.
Oh. They fled to Canada, the
Oh,
great
fair.
nation.
The Great White North.
Quebec, they speak French now. Language of love. All right, I'll stop.
Spending her days in old Montreal.
I'm just typing it up. You can add whatever you want here. This is your rumor. Him and his lizard wife. And it comes full circle.
Oh my god.
They own a poutine shop somewhere.
I love it.
Oh, this horrible, horrible person who in reality ended up was a brilliant geneticist and conducted awful experiments by turning people and things into other monstrous creatures. Y'all writing like a love story for it. Oh,
Look,
that's great.
we're playing children. We don't get epic romances, so I got to insert it somewhere.
You gotta put it somewhere.
Don't speak too soon. I'm all about the romance.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, it's so good. Alrighty. Michael, Natalie, what we got?
have
What we got
one.
rumors?
I have a ridiculous one. So the rumor that Darcy has heard and perpetuates probably because it makes her really excited is robot dinosaur ate the principal. However, she doesn't believe that it's robot dinosaur. She just thinks it's Mechagodzilla because Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla came out in the 70s. So
Yeah.
she's like, yes, this is yeah.
That is
Yes.
that is beautiful. It's
Yep.
so great.
Yep.
And it's so fitting for the era too. And with all the strange sounds that have kind of been going on at night, there are rumors of a dinosaur wandering the streets, particularly along the edge of the woods, but it has not been seen for quite some time.
a baby
Meredith would have more information about that, which I wish she was here in the chat. She'd smile because it was a great session. We did a podcast episode of it and it was super fun. They found a robot dinosaur.
I love
It
it.
was dope.
So that's what she
Yeah,
believes.
I love robot
That is
dinosaurs.
completely, yeah. Oh, same.
Oh, it's totally accurate. That's what absolutely. Well, you have no reason to suspect otherwise that that's not the truth. It's great.
I'm about to try to
Michael?
draw a ghost dinosaur. This is not going to go well. Sorry.
Just draw a piece of coal, like, it's close enough. Too soon?
Close, you know. Too soon.
What you got for us, Michael? Got a rumor for our
Dinosaur.
wonderful principal?
So I
Judging.
heard a very
Judge,
crazy
judge.
rumor about what might have happened to him. I heard that he got a better job offer at a different school.
No way.
I
That's
know.
wild.
The rumor come out. The rumor
Absolutely
come
wild.
out.
Does the principal has a better job now?
He became a dean
Is that the
somewhere.
rumor that Silas is just saying? Because Silas knows what
I don't think
happened.
Silas ever knew who this person even was. So I think that that's probably what he heard like some adults talking about. If anybody would have cared to ask him, which I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's just so fucking beautiful. I love it. I love it so
Now
much.
is there any question why we love Silas? Did you hear that voice?
Yeah,
people?
no.
We love him.
I can see it.
Hashtag save Silas.
Save Silas. that's the running gag this season. We'll have to get a little Silas icon now to go along with Sal.
Save the weirdo. Save the world.
Yes.
Oh, new tagline.
Beautiful.
Well done. Well done. All right, so that's the middle school. And we kind of know what happened there, or maybe not, because lizards, lovers, robot dinosaurs, or just a better job offer is what happened to their principal, which is not what happened, because in reality, the principal injected himself with his own monstrous chemical and turned into this absolutely disgusting, devious, giant, unstable monster, bubbly creature that attacked the kids. And it took a a giant knitting needle to the chest.
That's right. That was.
But we didn't know it was the chest. It was just somewhere
God.
lodged in its body. And after it had been knocked down to the ground and clunked on the head from going down the stairs. Ashley, didn't you charged it down the stairs, right?
That was so long ago. I hit it in the head several times with a baseball bat, but I feel like somebody else did the final down the stairs charge. It was all really fast.
Did you break your... Did you break something?
Jet
Who
broke the broom.
Oh, Jet broke the broom. Yeah, but somebody fell down the stairs and broke their ankle.
Oh my God, you're right. Who broke their ankle?
Yeah. Who broke their ankle? We'll have to go back and figure that out. Needless to say, this guy, as he was shriveling back up into his human form, the location where the very large knitting needle had gone through ended up shifting and being right through the center of his chest. And upon his death, his final words to the kids was this horrible, twisted grin, almost as if he was welcoming the end, because to him, the end was the only beginning, and that the rose will still bloom. That was his final words before the principal passed away in Hawthorne Heights Middle School. Very violent end to yeah, that well, we're stabbing people. That's what happens. Consequences. People die. Now, one thing I think we should take some time to explore a little bit, because we have two characters who are involved here, and we didn't have a lot of interaction last time, is with the Hawthorne Heights High School. This building is about 70 years old already. Classes fill up quickly. There's a bunch of influx of new residents, that move away because of the loop. But despite the age of the building, it's very well financed, so it's very well maintained. There's an athletics field, there's a swimming pool, there's a small theater for the performing arts. In addition to sports, there are also many clubs to participate in, or you can walk about a mile down the road to the local comic book shop. The school's colors are blue and gold, and their mascot is a hawk. So are there any particular people that you would like to kind of associate here? Is there anything weird maybe that goes on in the high school that you would notice?
I feel like there hasn't, like I haven't, we never really explored much of the high school when we were in the last thing.
Yeah, because we had a younger, majority younger group. So that's something that we can definitely explore here. It's not something that we have to decide right now, but definitely something to think about if you want to have an adventure in the high school, because high schools are weird. Y'all teenagers are also weird. So we have that option.
I think I have one character. Oh, you can go first.
Oh, I just had one, because we're in 1989, but it's Tales from the Loop, so there's a lot of anachronistic stuff that is not how 1989 really was. And I had a thought, just because gender stuff. Brit doesn't like softball, but Brit likes baseball, and I wanted to maybe make it canon in this particular world that the girls can play baseball too, instead of having to have their own softball team. Just because I still want my bat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And also in real life, I just hated that you had to switch to softball from Little League at a certain age.
I agree.
That's why I stopped. Ultimately.
Same. I played baseball when I was in high school, and then they had to switch me to softball. I was like, no, I'm not doing this then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel hardcore feels.
Yeah, like super relatable. I was very much into, my family's a baseball family. My brother was, super into baseball. I played baseball up until they were like, okay, now you're too old to play for the boys team. you need to go to the girls' team. And it sucked. It sucked because that wasn't the sport. It's not the people that you played with. It's not, what you grew up with. I mean, and then softball was fine.
It was different.
But like,
the ball was all squishy. It wasn't squishy.
Ball was
but you know what
weird.
I mean. I didn't.
yeah, that ball hurt, man. You get nailed by that. Ooh, that one hurt big time.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. So yeah, we can absolutely have that happen.
Either co-ed
springtime-
baseball or just the girls can also have a baseball team, whichever.
Yeah. This is what's great about this game is that it's 1980s that never was. So that means it could be a better 1980s, because when we take a moment and we go and look back at what really went on in the 80s, besides like all the things that make us feel good, there is a lot of problematic themes and issues and just stuff in general that went down in the 80s. A lot of sexism, a lot of homophobia, a lot of racism. Like, it was bad and it was mainstream. Here we're trying to avoid that. We are writing a more accepting and open 1980s that we would have wanted. We had a couple non-binary characters last season that were out. Like, that was just a normal thing. It wasn't an issue for anybody. If you wanted a character to be any part of the LGBT spectrum, like, absolutely go ahead. They won't accrue, like, just hardcore homophobia. Like, some of my favorite movies tossed the F word around like it was just nothing, but meant it in the cruelest way. And like, going back and watching those, like, just made me feel so uncomfortable. Like, it was not good. But we're not here to do that. We're here to have smiles and then stab principals. It's really
Smiles and stabs. Smiles and stabs. Got it.
yeah.
And minors with tattoos.
Yeah, right. And then like kids get tattoos at the age of 14. It's fine.
Totally fair.
Can't wait for it.
It's the 1980s, okay? I didn't see we were getting rid of all of the cool stuff from the 80s, okay?
I was like almost worried about broaching that topic because I didn't know like if people would be like, no, that's way too far out of reality. But yeah, no, I just well.
This is our reality. By our, I mean your reality. This is your story. You're telling it. If that's the world that you want your characters to be part of, then that's the world that your characters are going to be part of, and I'm all for it. So
cool. And the high school has a girl baseball team.
High school has a girl baseball team, and they kick
awesome.
butt. They kick just absolute butt. Like, because there's
And they
no
don't
other
have
school
to
in the
wear
area that
skirts
does it.
like field hockey.
Oh god, no. There was like a total like,
Side-eye field
rebellion.
hockey.
Field hockey.
Britt has
Awesome.
feelings.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Didn't know.
We're going to explore those feelings later. Because now we got to know. We can do that later. So we talked about, just for a brief moment, the diner, which is known as the Moonlight Diner, a.k.a. most kids just call it Moonies. You avoid this place because you're kids on Friday and Saturday nights because it's crawling with the older high school kids. But after school night, it's kind of the best place to just hang out and unwind with friends. You grab like some of the best milkshakes in town. The diner itself is a weird blend of like 1950s nostalgia and pirates. That was the thing. The owner of the establishment is simply known as Cap or Captain, and by day it serves as a truck stop since it's right up against a bunch of highways and it's open 24/7. And Ashley's mom works there, correct?
Meredith's mom.
Meredith's mom works there. So yes, I have it. Literally, it's written right here because I can read my notes. Is there anything that you would like to add to the pirate diner?
Nothing that can't just be like inserted if we have a scene there, like shake flavors or whatever. Like nothing.
Yeah, it's the standard array of chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. I don't think they were very explorative.
Oh no. They have a peanut butter banana. It's delicious.
Yeah,
Go
but
there.
like, do they have like cookies and cream?
How dare you?
Like, I need you to order that and just have like the waitress just look at you.
That's what's
Want me
going to
put a
happen.
Cookie in
so
your
excited.
shake. And then look, you just made like the cookie shake out here.
Yeah, right? See, I'm an entrepreneur.
Inventor of the cookie shake.
Yes.
But that's what it's called, unfortunately.
The cookie shake.
Cookie shake. Oy. Now, we did have some experience over at the pier and the beach. Depending on what part of the town you live in, it might actually be a hike to get there, so you probably need somebody to drop you off because none of you have your driver's license. A huge chunk of the waterfront, though, is blocked off to the naval base and even further north where the loop is located. There's still plenty of beach left, though, to the south. Families like to go on the weekends when the weather is nice. There's plenty of fishing activities that can actually be enjoyed all year round. And this is actually Lake Michigan. So you're right up against the west side of Lake Michigan, right at the tip. And occasionally there are some festivals that are held there, and pop-up carnivals come to town in that location during the summer. Is there anything you would like to add to the pier or beach?
Is there like you said something about like a festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of festival is it?
Well, because it's a farm area mostly, it'll be like a fall type festival. So there's tons of apple orchards out. Well, there were. We can kind of cut them all down. But there were a bunch of apple orchards out here, a lot of corn. So it's like a harvest festival.
Okay, can I add there to be a music festival there as well in the summertime or springtime?
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of like almost like a music fest where like they get like a bunch of like, you know, local musicians, and, you know, if God forbid if they could sponsor like one like B musician or whatever, that would be kind of cool.
Just the musician, like they can't get the full band. They can afford like one like bassist from like a kind of known band to just come and play.
Right.
It's like their side project. Yeah.
Right.
Hey guy, cool. Done. Music festivals, I like that.
Love it.
Definitely incorporate that into the game. I'm gonna skip. Oh no, that's it for the already established places. So are there any locations that you would like to add? Something that you know that your character would be interested in, you know, a place that they hang out at, a place that they feel safe in, a place that they run away to, a place that they get in trouble with.
Is there generally like a... Oh, go. You wanna?
Oh no, you go first. I still need to think of the machinations in my head.
Oh no, just because of how Darcy likes people watching. Mostly wondering if there's like a public park that people frequent or walk through that might even have like a playground or something like that you'd probably just like hang out at a bench or like on top of like the play set, probably, you know, with tiny children running around, nothing like her. And she just like hides there and like sits and sketches.
Yeah. No, that would be great. So we got a public park, lots of benches. There's actually this would be located in downtown Liberty town. Yep. And it's really close to the library.
Okay, cool. That works. Yeah.
Can we say that there's like a skate park attached to it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Skate
Wonderful.
park. Are there any NPCs that you would like that kind of haunt this location?
There's nothing that comes to mind right now.
Sure.
Well, if
I-
Darcy's drawing them, they're always haunting, right?
I mean, true. Well played.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Stand there.
And that's when we finish for the day.
Yeah, that's when no one kicks me out of the game.
Could we have a creepy old groundskeeper? I feel like
I
we're
just
lacking
want-
one of those.
Do you need a creepy
creepy person, period.
All right. So, creepy old grounds keeper. What is Creeper
Not
McKeepster's
named
name?
Willie.
Thank you. I was like, Willie, no.
Not Willie.
Not Willie.
Maybe
Billy.
maybe they're not a dude. Maybe it's like a really like eccentric, like frazzled lady, like with like Trelawney hair, and like goes and like gardens and stuff.
And weird, like
throw them.
tiny glasses that you really don't know how they're useful. Like, just like,
I love this imagery. Really tiny glasses.
Let's just throw this stereotype like a little.
Yeah, no, I love it. Oh, this is beautiful.
Wonderful.
All right.
I kind of want to name her Millie.
Millie.
Done. Millie. Set in stone. Can't change it now.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So good. How does Millie feel about the skate park that's attached? Are they like all for? Are they a pro skater? Are they totally against it? Do they just not care? What? Tell me how Millie feels about the skate park.
I'm sure she loves it when there's.
well.
I feel like Millie loves it when there's nobody there.
Okay.
Yeah. Those darn kids that don't appreciate nature.
Well, I mean, ultimately, the skateboarders tend to, skate up on everything, and maybe they like mess up the flower beds sometimes and that sort of thing.
They leave
I feel like
their
maybe
stuff like that around.
she respects like the people that don't make messes or something.
Yeah.
Like she's just like grumbly and weird to everyone else, but if she notices there's like a particular person that's like very respectful, she'll just like start telling weird stories.
That's my goal.
Oh,
She likes conscientious skaters.
That recycle especially.
Yeah.
Right.
And practice safety.
If they don't have a helmet, she's like,
oh, that's it.
If they don't have a helmet, she'll go at him with a stick.
She trips them on purpose. Teach them a lesson.
Should have worn your helmet.
and that's why you wear knee pads.
Oh, that's good.
I regret this character.
No, never.
No, I'm living for Millie now.
Am I just ruining everything that Michael wants tonight?
Oh no!
I think she's got one of those trash pokers that she like maybe has gotten reprimanded for getting dangerously close to kids with.
Is she like really
Like when
good
she
at
wanted
it?
to
Like, if you're,
reprimand them.
Yeah, but like if you're like doing something really naughty, like all of a sudden
deserve
it's
to be
just
stabbed.
like a dart, bing! It just like flies past you and like, strikes into like a
Oh
tree.
my god.
And like she's got her eyes on you.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
That's good.
That's
I love
awesome. I love Millie now. It's precious. She pricks them. Yeah, totally. Are there any other locations that you would like to add?
I have a location, but I want to go back to the high school real quick.
Yeah.
Is there any way, do you feel like this school is so well funded that there is a teacher for every single little thing? Or is there teachers that kind of blend into different fields? Like say like the music teacher is somehow also the drama head.
Mm-hmm. It's well funded enough that it would have all like positions filled, but that's probably only been because of the past like 10 years because of the arrival of the loop or the construction of the loop being finished. So more business has come into that area. So we could say like an older, like a 10-year teacher had claim already to both of these things if that's what you want. Yeah, we can make it totally happen.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I was just kind of curious whether or not they blended over, but for the second semester production, I wanted to be Jesus Christ Superstar.
It's canon. It's done.
Like it's gonna be new and like super controversial for the Midwest. And it'll probably be like the one rad thing that Ritter's gonna be like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, this teacher is
Can I try
woke.
it out?
I was gonna say,
like
back where I'm from, it would have had to been like Jiminy Cricket Superstar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
So
this is so
that's for
the high school I've done.
I'm up.
actually, I pulled this from my own personal experience. Granted, I also went to school in New York, but for our senior year, it was Jesus Christ Superstar for the production. So it was awesome.
That's boss.
But-
That's so great.
So that's for the high school. And because you mentioned it before, I think I want to go with the bar.
Oh, the bar?
Yeah,
Yes.
I want like a creepy dive bar where like you don't know, like when you order some drink, you don't know if you're actually ordering a drink or some other awful substance or whatever.
Right.
Maybe it can be by there's an airport right nearby.
No, the airport is O'Hare. There's one close.
Oh, it's O'Hare. Okay.
And one up in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you can place the bar wherever. But I think in like a high traffic area where a lot of people kind of come and go.
Yeah. Like traffic is in like road traffic. Like you want like truckers hanging out there, or
like people that either like people who are traveling, like they either come there.
Bus terminal.
Yeah, but with alcohol and maybe drugs.
Sure. All right, we can do this. So it's probably like a little north of Mooney's, because Mooney's is right off the highway. It's a very popular truck stop because it's open 24 hours. The bar legally can't be open for 20 hours and is probably dry on Sundays. So it's up north and kind of like really like shady area of town, right off of the highway. Trucks can definitely stop over there. There's probably like a bunch of motels and stuff around the area. So yeah, that's done. And we're gonna call the bar real bar that I used to go to as a kid.
Sweet.
We should probably have it like be on like one of the main roads of people that work at the Loop, where they're like on their way to go home too.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
Highway 94 is the big highway, and that goes all the way north through Wisconsin and south, and then kind of curves off into like Indiana, and then you take it all the way down through Kentucky, Tennessee. So that's what
we can
Mooney's
get
is
that
off
juicy
of.
scientist gossip.
Oh yeah, get all of that guy there, because some of them were
go there.
Mm-hmm.
Children.
But can you?
I'm gonna sneak in with my cool awesome tattoo. I'm gonna
the
get.
real bar I used to hang out at as a kid.
I feel like Daquan would go.
I mean, during the daytime, I'm sure it'd be fine.
Yeah, daytime's fine.
But you don't go during the daytime. You can't get information then.
It's true. You just go to the
They're all
daytime
working.
and stay to the nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
You just hang out
Episode
there.
2 of Little Busters. The three of us get in a trench coat and go to the bar.
Oh my god.
Can we get 3 kids in a trench coat?
Yeah, 3 kids in a trench coat. It is a thing. Who is the shortest and who is the tallest?
I was gonna say Ritter's already like 5'9" or like 5'8" or 5'9".
Okay, Ritter's the tallest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Short.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. That's perfect. That's
They're not on
happening.
top of each other though. They're just standing like wide. It's a 3-headed person in a very short trench coat.
Is this
They
Roblox?
did not succeed on their role.
Silas is the head. It's whatever.
It's whatever.
You forgot your ID. Just whatever.
I feel like he gets dangerously Italian sometimes. It's like, it's whatever. I don't like that. I'm trying to avoid that.
Well, in fairness, it might be just an accent that he's picking up because, this is Chicago and there's a lot of Italians out here, and you get the little Chicago Italian kind of going. It might slip into your Swedish. I never know. It happens.
Where has this been? We've got like how many NPCs and not a single one?
Wait, what?
has
Hashtag called
like,
out.
Your accent, I
this
think.
deep Italian man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, wait. The bartender, the head bartender. There's your Italian man.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Hey, it's you, Italian guy. What's up? My name's Joey. How's it going?
Of course, it's Joey.
Yeah, how you doing?
Here's the thing. It's
Oh,
a
he
pair
wants
of
to dance
Italian
with you?
twins. A boy and a girl. It's Tony and Tony with an I.
Oh God.
Cannon.
We don't have to do that.
Done.
No, we do not.
And Tony, Italian.
Is it a mom
twins.
front?
Man, their parents
Yes.
hated them.
Oh, God, it's so good. It's a family name. It's a respectful name. Now you got
Got a
two
problem
kids
with
that have
Tony?
it. It's beautiful. This is the thing. We're gonna do this. Oh God, I can't wait. My head's already turning about what story we could put into this to get
I
you out
love
there. Oh man,
Sweet.
I love you guys. Twins, maybe. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, cool. Done. I love it.
Wonderful.
It's so good. Any other locations that you would like?
I'm good.
Actually,
I had
do,
what I
do-
wanted.
Oh,
do we do breaks?
Oh,
Will, do we get a break? Is that a thing? Maybe not, because it's only 3 hours. I don't know. We'll find out. Don't message me. So one thing that let's just keep going on. It's fine. Work.
Hashtag
Like a monkey,
mercy
not
work.
I said in the
Um,
chat that this particular world building session is making me feel very like we are gods.
I saw
Yeah,
that. I
because you
started giggling.
Anything we
This
say
is your
goes.
place. Heck yeah. That's what's so beautiful here about the loop, and it's really it's encouraged in the book. And I'm reaching over here off screen, petting my book. It wants the players to be as involved as possible in building the world. This is your playground. It is totally open sandbox unless you play in the worlds that they offer for you. But even then, they're just kind of suggestions. And for me, I wanted to play something that I'm comfortable with. I don't speak Swedish, so me trying to attempt to pronunciate like a lot of the town names would not have gone well. So, and I also thought a desert area was very unfamiliar to me because I think I've been to a desert once. So I don't know the proper like geology there. I don't understand a desert setting, but I know the Midwest. In Chicago, we just had really great locations to make this work. We have a nuclear power plant. We have an army base. There is a major city really close nearby. There is a large lake. There is tons of farmland and tons of open forests. Like there is a landscape to have a 1980s coming of age adventure right in my own backyard. So that's kind of where we established it. But now we're adding more places and I'm freaking loving it. Like I love that you are making this your own. So good job so far, friends.
So we talked about the arcade being run by like a militaristic person.
Yeah, Striker.
Yeah. What's his policy on like skating out front?
Probably absolutely not.
It's exactly what I was hoping for. All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh no. He's the type of guy that's probably gotten in trouble for like pulling a knife out on a kid. Like just like this is like Vietnam vet guy and just takes this way too seriously. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No loitering, no shenanigans. None at all. If you once try to like shake a game machine, you're out. He's got like a whole wall of pictures of faces that are just like totally banned with their like offense to him. And when it's like a slow night, he's just sitting there like, you know, like throwing sharpened pencils into them and just bing, like making them stick. Yeah, Striker's crazy.
This is a bad man. I don't like this guy.
Is Striker
Sad thing.
married to Millie?
He goes home and he's like really just this really thoughtful and nice guy. Just treats her super well. Like, yeah,
It's her
no.
flowers.
They're gonna end
She
up
sticks
together.
him.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yes, we need to.
Matchmakers.
Oh, kids meddle in adult lives. It's beautiful.
Yeah. We're just being matchmakers. It's fine. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah,
We're just gonna
not a thing.
ship all of these NPCs, and then Gnome is gonna have a scene.
Yeah, I'm
like,
gonna
where
have
she
this
just,
awkward
like,
conversations
turns to
with
herself.
myself. It's what it
Oh, I
is.
love you.
Fine.
Oh, I love you too.
There's going to be one episode that's just a date night, and we're all just going to sit here silently.
Yeah, 3 hours of me just like talking to myself. Great.
Darcy
While
will
we
draw
try
the
to stop
whole thing.
some
It'll be
frog
great.
monster from ruining their date.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
Go
it
on
means
and say
so
it.
much to you guys. Oh, I love it. We can make that happen too. There's just there's a lot of potential. Here. So one thing that I do want to go ahead and discuss more in depth, especially for our new players, is another mechanic in the game that is known as the hideout. And typically, the players pick the hideout. That was already established in season 1, but there are things that that the characters ready. Just gonna combine them together now. Ritter and Darcy can kind of add and contribute it as they are introduced to the hideout. It is an old Cold War era bunker that is located underground. There are several large chambers within. One of the main chambers, it has like just a whole cache of food that is part from Synergy and part from the military and part unknown boxes or homemade stuff. No one is really certain who built the bunker. It is still operational, so there is still power that is sourced into it. It seems to generate its own power. There's a whole like kind of family room area that has like a bunch of computers and tons of like old book, like just outdated books and stuff, all about like survival though. Understanding communism, things of that nature. You kind of actually get the sense that this may not have been built by an American, but nobody seems to have come in here at least for maybe 10 years because the kids from last season ended up finding a laboratory that was inside the bunker, and it was completely destroyed. It seems to have been where Dr. Rose had been conducting some of his experiments in part. There were cages, just like science gear just broken and shattered all over the place. Really weird scratch marks in places, burn marks in some areas. Acid was a very big substance that was used last season, so some of the kids were very familiar of being like, oh, this wasn't just like fire, this was actually burned by these acid creatures. That's where they discovered that Dr. Rose had worked. What's up?
Because I actually wrote on my character sheet that my iconic item is a slightly acid pitted baseball bat.
Oh, that is very important to know. Certainly one that the team wouldn't let you use, that's for sure. So yeah, no, that's great. Oh, and there's also a dead body that's down a hallway that is kind of just closed off. Nobody talks about it.
Did they never get rid of that?
Oh my god.
That's gonna smell.
Anywhere else? I don't know.
Oh, no. This scent is gone. It's just bone. It's bones that were left in the position it was killed in. And it's lying face down. There is a bullet somewhere near it because Chloe found the bullet and determined that this person did not die of natural causes. And it's like final position is laying face forward with a finger pointing at a doorway that has a bloodied rose drawn into it with a big X across it.
Darcy
And it's
loves
just chilling there. That's the hideout. Like now there's like a boombox there and like actual snacks that you'd want to eat. All the power that you'd ever want. You have access to computers, not an actual personal computer wasn't a thing back then. But these are computers that are like the size of an actual desk and then like a little tiny screen. So they're not great, they're from like the 70s, but using fictional technology from Rick Synergy and the military. So yeah, and according to Daquan, there was like at least 600 dead people. At least.
so many ghosts.
Tons of ghosts.
Yeah,
Many.
can we make the skeleton guy like our mascot? Can we dress him up like during different holidays?
When did Weekend of Bernie's kind of?
Weekend of Bernie's a fucking dead body.
Yes.
Ashley will
I'll
walk
provide
out.
the music.
I just say Ashley's not gonna have any part of this.
Ashley will walk out of that mystery and never come back.
Oh my gosh. I love that the characters from last season just like literally were the kids that put the rug over it. But now we're gonna get some new kids in here and they're like, no way, bro, check this out, and just like go ham on it.
Dude, like look what happens when I put a hat on him. He looks cute now.
Where's the ghost? Where's
Three
the ghost?
weirdos and a jock walk into a bunker.
Walk into a bar.
Also that
Oh my gosh. This is just
in a trench coat.
in a trench coat, yeah.
Wide.
3 of them in the trench coat. Wide. God. You crazy meddling kids, you. What is even goings on? I can't wait for next week. It's gonna be so much fun. So now that is something that I did want to talk about because I want you guys to be able to really incorporate and turn the bunker into your own. It wasn't quite your own yet, but you've had the break now. So really more specifically for Silas and Ashley, what do you think, especially because Silas, you've been living there for, like on and off for a while, depending on if you were going to...
Yeah, I think he maybe stayed a couple days with Jet like in a row and then got a little bit uncomfortable and probably has been spending most of his time in the bunker.
Has he made any like changes? Did you bring anything into the bunker?
I don't even...
Because there's also like a place to sleep. Like there's a sleeping quarters
Yeah.
that had like 12 bunk beds and some like personal lockers.
I honestly don't know. I can't imagine him doing anything to change the aesthetic at all. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, he didn't spend his entire day and night there. I think he was, at the library or hanging out with some people. And then by night he would go back and just sleep and then go do something else the next day. But yeah, I cannot imagine Silas doing anything aesthetic at all.
Yeah, it took him a while to even write his name on the wall. Like it wasn't
Yeah, it
something
did.
he did immediately. Like that took
He was like one of the
encouragement.
last people to do it.
Yeah. So there's like right when you walk in like the food storage is just like there was like a couple spray cans, and so like everybody kind of wrote their name in some form, way, shape, or another into the place. So that is like officially marks your hideout. And mechanically speaking, what's really cool about the hideout, again, this is another thing that the DM cannot touch. This is your actual safe haven. I can't destroy stuff in there. I can't have it found out by for like some plot use. That is your place. Put whatever items you think are important there, because there's other stuff within the bunker that might still be helpful and useful as far as information or equipment goes. That's all there to still explore. Now, Ashley, was there anything that you'd like to contribute into the bunker?
Yeah, I think that playing babysitter for Sal is a bit not tedious sometimes, but it's difficult to lug around a cardboard box with a beeping thing in it and have people stop asking questions. So I think that probably we often will leave Sal down there. And I know that Daquan had done a bunch of stuff to Sal in terms of like interface, and I kind of think that maybe Sal understands us enough to, if we ask it, to stay if we're there, or if we're not there, that maybe he will, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
Hasn't
still
left
some
self-harm,
Sal
doesn't
can't
mean
do.
he's not going to.
Yeah, right. Like he's still like this 2-foot kind of broken mishmash applianced smashed together sort of sentient creature.
Oh, so he probably can't climb the ladder to get out.
Yeah, probably can't climb that ladder. He's got one actual arm that's not even really an arm, and the other one is still just an egg beater. Like that's not going to help you get up a ladder.
Okay, but I don't really want to, like, because like Ashley obviously has this like weird sweet spot for him, even though he's, you know, a robot. So I kind of feel like maybe we have like this agreement that we'll, you know, in shifts hang out with him, so he's not alone all the time.
Yeah,
maybe that's
I mean-
totally absurd, but
I think I think that makes sense. I think it might have defaulted to Silas a little bit. I think that he maybe, even though he canonically hates Sal, hates him so much. I don't know why, but he hates him so much. I think it's more of an excuse to like just kind of hang out in the bunker without being asked why. It's like, oh, he's watching Sal. I
and
still don't know
Pro
why I
makes
hate him
total
so
sense.
much.
Pro is yelling at us in the chat for abandoning Sal.
Little buddy. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. He's safe with Silas. It's all good. Oh.
In terms
No.
of things that Ashley would do to change it, I feel like Ashley doesn't want to go into the two spaces that have the gore laboratory and the body, but I think that probably Ashley would have put up like maybe just like a couple of 2x4s and just like bang them in and write like "do not enter" on them, just because she's very uncomfortable with those spaces and just doesn't even want the door to open. Like just it doesn't
sure.
it doesn't actually prevent anyone from opening those doors. Just like a reminder. Just don't go there. Just so that you folks can, you know, then go in and then mess with things if you want to. I don't want to ruin that, but just with the hammer, which was my second choice for iconic item.
Yes, the mighty hammer. It's good times there. Let me see.
But yeah, there is a hammer down there that actually knows where it is at all times, just in case they get invaded.
You know,
Yeah, and I mean there's a whole bunch of like weird supplies that you still haven't really like just, you know, in character had like the time to explore. So that's something that we can kind of get a little more involved with. But I'm kind of looking at the time. It is 9:20, and I think if you are okay, we can kind of discuss how we're going to incorporate and introduce Darcy and Ritter to this story. I think it's important that we'll say that between like the season finale, so during break, would be a really good time to have the characters kind of interact. So my thoughts on that were if you wanted to actually do a narrative scene together. You know, we can have you all hanging out somewhere, you know, be at the park in the middle of winter, at Mooney's, at the library or the theater, or if there's something else that any of you have in mind, I think now would be a good time to kind of just jump in character, kind of explore some narratives with each other, just so that when we kick off episode 1 next week at 8 p.m., we'll be prepared and ready to go, and it won't be like kind of that like awkward introduction phase, so we could just kind of jump right in.
Those tended to slow things down the last season. I had a thought that maybe, because, you know, we did leave it where Chloe was sort of making her little, you know, crime scene board, you know, with all like the spots in town where like there were symbols and things. I kind of think that maybe it wouldn't be totally unreasonable for Silas and Ashley to have gone out on a looking for more symbols, like mini expedition, somewhere that Darcy is. And if Darcy's always drawing everyone, then that is going to set off Ashley's like spy sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And then to
I don't know
connect
how to
that,
incorporate Ritter, yeah.
I was gonna say maybe she's drawing me. So, because like I'm the weird tan guy that is probably complete opposite of Canada.
Oh yeah,
So,
like
weird accent, weird hair, weird skin tone, weird clothes. I need to draw that.
I'm so excited.
So I guess the question is, where would he be? I want to say the diner might be fitting because something tells me that Californians don't understand the concept of get the bread and milk before the snowstorm.
Yep.
Mom probably also doesn't know how to drive in the snow.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
she is probably
this year with the snow, nobody was driving. Like
Right.
it was that bad. It was historically bad. Like I think like 100 people died because of it. Like
Oh gosh.
it was a historical snowstorm.
I'm assuming that she is probably surviving off of Triscuits and wine or something. And Ritter's probably so desperate for any kind of food. So he probably has heard about the diner and he's like, I mean, if it's open, they gotta have something. So he's so desperate that he's gonna go there. So
Yeah, that's
if
perfect.
that works.
Would you all like to
love
start off at Mooney's?
yeah.
Okay, so Silas and I could be like going over notes or something from what we had like been searching for that day or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that works.
And
So are all these symbols
Darcy's in her
the
corner.
same symbol, or are they different types of symbols? Is it always this
I
rose?
was gonna
Or
ask.
Mm.
It will always be the rose.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
I'm gonna make an
I see
amendment
that-
to my outfit.
I see that. Oh my gosh! Yeah, if you have any sort of like rose iconography,
Do
on
it.
we will kill you.
Yes. So okay.
They've
so
killed before.
he is going to have. So he has the leather jacket on and probably like 50 scarves on because he's freezing to death. But let's say that he has like an embroidered like big red rose, and then like not with a cross out, but maybe there's barbed wire, kind of like circling around it, like a helix or something, like
okay,
that.
so all right, so I am just envisioning this scene now, like where we've got the Silas and I are in a booth, and we're like beside each other in that booth, which is just weird. But we're looking at this like sketched out map of the town, like a really bad sketch, and we're like starting to poke at like little spots on the thing, and Ritter's not in there yet because you gotta walk in, and
I
then
have to walk in from the cold.
maybe Darcy, I don't know where you are. If you want to argue,
I'm probably
there.
at like a table in a corner. I probably have just been hanging out there because it's been the easiest place while it's cold out to like just sketch people. So like it's been
Okay,
really good for people
so-
watching.
So we didn't like notice you at all.
No, probably not. I'm just like, you don't notice me. I notice you.
This is perfect, actually. This is perfect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'll come in. I'll come in out of the cold with, I don't know why there's snow on his shoulders and whatnot, but there has to be. He probably slipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
feel
doesn't know how
like
to
it's
walk
like a drizzly, just gross day, but there probably are not that many people in there.
Probably not.
So we're just going over this map, like crossing out areas that we've been to or something that we haven't found
Yeah,
anything
I think that makes
terribly
sense.
special.
Yeah.
I know I said I wasn't gonna have you roll tonight, but
Oh no!
who wants to roll? Yeah, do you have regular dice?
I
set
have
up
my-
our thing. Yeah, we'll set it up next week. What is?
I have my
who
toast
wants to
roll
roll
dice.
an investigate check for me?
If you
Silas,
trust
yeah.
actual dice.
It's got to be me, and I'm using my gloves and everything to.
Oh,
look
yeah, oh
around.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
perfect. You don't have to like. I trust you. You guys.
I have my character sheet pulled up, and I just rolled on that because we did roll 20 before,
Oh,
and I just got
perfect.
2 successes.
Nice.
Yeah, you did. Holy moly.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so we've already started the scene now.
Yes, yeah, we're in it. We're cooking this now. So Silas, you can go ahead and ask 2 questions, because when an investigation check is rolled and you are at least successful with 1 die, you are able to ask like kind of like fourth wall breaking questions, so that your character has a better understanding and grasp on what what mystery actually lies here. So go ahead and ask.
So before in season 1, I went off script on every time I asked these questions. What is the actual approved list of questions?
It's not an approved list.
It's not
those are suggestions. Yeah.
Okay.
They're very useful questions that can apply to many different situations. But I believe it's just a suggested list.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you ask questions that are relevant to you, and to now a book isn't going to be able to tell you or me whether or not that question is relevant.
gotcha. So in the however long we've probably couple days or weeks or something that we have been looking for all this stuff, like looking for these symbols or whatever, have we found anything terribly intriguing, or were they just like happenstance? There happened to be like graffiti of a rose on a dumpster or something. Is it something that's actually been really connected to the mystery?
Yes, and you so far it took you a while. Like you were really, especially you, Silas. You were looking all over the place. You had the time. You're homeschooled. Well, you're not doing anything right now. You are just the weird kid walking around town during the day, like up and down, looking for this symbol. And for a while, you maybe were starting to doubt that this was even relevant, that this was a thing, that this guy was just crazy on whatever, gene juice he had injected. You just weren't really sure about the validity of the rose symbol that you saw on the Hawthorne Heights Middle School building. Perhaps it was just like the Masons symbol, like this is whatever construction company built the building. That's just their emblem that they put on one brick to verify that they made it. But no, you saw it again, and you saw it on the Liberty Theater. But this time it wasn't outside. It was inside. You managed to kind of get behind the screen and see kind of like the little back alley where like some of the mechanical stuff is. And you noticed a brick that had the same engraving as the one you had seen at Hawthorne Middle School.
Okay. So I guess my second question is, so we've established that there is like this exact symbol keeps appearing in random places.
Correct.
Have we have we discovered any real link between these places, or why these places are marked? Did we find like any items, which is a stupid thing to say, like, oh, the treasure map to the bad guy's lair?
Yeah, no, not yet. You haven't really been able to establish what the symbol really means, and again, whether or not it had anything to do with Dr. Rose. But now this is the third time that you've seen the symbol. The first time was written in blood with the X across it, the second time at the middle school, and now at the theater. So the third time is beyond a conspiracy at this point for you.
Yeah, these locations are marked for a reason. We just don't know why.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so I figured that I had just gotten there a little while before, and I'm in all my sports paraphernalia. Yeah, I mean, I went for a walk after school, and I didn't find anything, but I've only hit the park really, so where do you think
I
we should
have
go next.
I have been around.
And we're sitting in the booth. Yeah, we're sitting at the diner at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have checked several of the places on the map. Most of them seem to be, well, not most, but some of them have just been graffiti, like drawings. I don't know if they were important drawings, but they were different kind of, sort of. So there is, I think, a lot more to that. There are. It is not a coincidence that there are these markings. I just don't know what they're for.
Well, there's probably more. We just need to get Chloe a little bit more information on it, if there's more and where they are on the map.
Well, there. It's supposed to be one somewhere around here. I don't know where specifically. I suppose when the rain lets up, we can go look a little bit more.
I mean, we can probably, maybe when there's less people in here, get Meredith to maybe ask her mom, if she's seen anything around the diner.
Maybe. I don't know.
I sort of like look around the diner, just like then I pop my head underneath the table just to see.
Oh, visually, this is actually kind of cool. So as you put your head underneath the table, you see the door open, and you see the two very thin legs kind of step in, and you hear, "Oh, thank God, it's warm in here, dude. Oh, there is a God."
Darcy gets very excited from her corner. Ooh, new person to draw.
Ritter steps in. Is this like a sit your own kind of place, or like do you have to wait for someone to? He stands by the little podium.
Actually, kind of puts her arm over the map and just kind of scooches it closer to herself because stranger, and they've got the map, and puts a fry in her mouth
Yeah. And so the rose is on the back of your jacket.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when he's turning this way and that, trying to figure out who works at this place, the rose sort of symbol catches my eye, and I think I just kind of panic for a second, and I think very bizarrely grab Ashley's face and just kind of turn it, which is something I don't think I've ever done before.
Like in Jurassic Park, where it's grab the chin.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm I've got the fry in my mouth. I'm covering up the map. You move my face.
It's a big rose too.
I flip the map over on its face so that it's just a blank piece of paper.
Do you have your bat?
Oh no, they're gonna kill me.
Oh, no. I put the fry in my mouth.
Just stress eating fries.
Yep.
Silas has no idea what to do. He's just panicking.
I'm gonna fold up the map and shove it in my backpack.
Hello, is there any service in here? Do people work here?
Yeah, darling, just you seat yourself, okay, hon? I'll be with you in a moment. You hear from the back is Teresa, who's maybe 52-year-old, broad that's been working here forever. Is the only one kind of on staff. The storm has kind of slowed down business, so not a lot of people are needed right now, especially during the day.
Awesome. Ritter will kind of. Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, I whisper over to Silas, "Let's just be quiet and watch them."
Yes. I think observation is the greatest. I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. I'm trying to say something cool. Never. Shh. Quiet.
Ashley reaches down and holds your hand. It's okay.
It's so sweaty. It's so unbelievably sweaty.
We're on a date.
What?
We're on a date.
Is that what this is?
Actually looks pained. And let's go. Just don't talk.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm assuming with the little amount of people in here, you guys were still talking at a volume where I couldn't necessarily hear you.
Well, that was I was talking loud so that people could hear it, but I was whispering to Silas.
Right. That's kind of what I'm getting. When told to sit, he nods and he'll give a brief glance throughout the diner, like, all right, Rod. And like he'll go over to the bar because he's conscientious that God forbid there might be a big family and they might want to sit in a nice comfy booth, so he sits at the bar. And it's like where he sits at the bar, I imagine it's like perfect drawing view for you, Darcy.
Yep.
And then catty corner to that is where Silas and Ashley is. So you guys just look at that.
Pretty
As
nice.
he's like kind of like hunched over and he's still like breathing on his hands, trying to warm up. And he'll wait for a menu.
And yeah, I think I'm just scanning the whole diner, waiting for like his contact to show up and like slip him some papers or something, because I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen.
Yes. Silas, can you draw?
What?
Can you draw?
I can try.
And I just grab, the pen and I think the back of the map or like a napkin. I think I
already
start to
shoved
maybe
the
draw on the back of the map. Oh, that's right. So I just grab a napkin and attempt to draw. Is there something I should roll for that?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh my
Roll the draw.
Oh, good.
Roll
What
to
do-
draw.
what-
Ooh.
When is draw? It's got to be some sort of tinker. It doesn't seem
Ouch.
right.
No.
It sounds more like calculate.
Yeah, this is a weird one because there's not enough.
We found the one thing that can't be represented by a skill.
Right.
What is the
Hand-
best just like physical character not body, not head.
It's hand-eye
Mind?
coordination.
You know what?
So-
Like a mind?
This is move.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. It's a hand-eye
Those are moving
coordination thing.
Okay, great, because I got a 0 in move. Let's see.
Wow, I have an 8.
Yeah, it didn't work there. I rolled 2
you
dice and got
draw
a 6 on
something.
none of them. It looks
You
like a
draw
Draw a
ghost.
ghost.
It's so that's a disaster. It's fine.
I think it's just like his hand is shaking so much that it's just like a scribble at this point, and he like tears the napkin and starts freaking out. He just can't do it.
At this point, because I've probably been watching you two enough that I kind of half see it, and I'm like, I kind of get up quietly and move over. I've been drawing. If you need a picture,
To both Silas and Ashley just like wide eye silence. 'Cause
Yes,
that's what I'm
yes.
seeing.
with enough silence, she probably like slips you this piece of paper, and it's just it looks like a ghost wearing a leather jacket.
With the rose on it already.
Yeah, with the rose on it.
Are you?
You're drawing that one, right? And she like points straight at Ritter too.
What's
said
the
you
perception check in this game?
We have been using investigate.
Cool. I have 0 in Can I
It's fine,
try to see
you-
if I'm
you-
noticing them?
You
Yeah,
can always
totally.
still roll it because you're going to have at least a 1 depending on your mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
Well,
on the attribute. Yeah, there you go.
okay.
Yeah, because
So
it's
I
your
have to
mind
add-
and then plus the bonus for skill.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, it's always attribute and skill.
Okay, so I need to make it a 1, and then it's the +3 for the mind because I have that on my thing. Okay, so I just re-roll it.
If you just
Okay.
click the mind or whatever, it should just do it automatically.
Oh, if you click mind, okay. All right, well then I'll just.
Oh
click
no,
mine
I'm
then.
sorry. It was investigate. No, you were right. You were right. You
Okay,
did
I
it
was right. I was supposed to be like, I thought I had to do the skill. Okay, I have one success.
Yeah, so you're
John
totally listening to all of this.
just slowly turns his head and he's like, "Hey, do you guys also do Guns N' Roses?" And he puts up the arms of his sleeves, and there's guns going down the sides of the jacket.
Silas hits the deck. He's under the table.
Ashley just like calms down at that point. Yeah, they're great. We saw them.
Okay.
Well, not we. Me and you. Somebody. They're great. Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Dude, like really? And like he swirls around on the swivel, gets up and goes right over there. He's like, "Dude, what show? Is it based off the new album?"
No. Well, I mean, there was some from the new album, but mostly I think they wanted to play the hits from Appetite for Destruction that most people wanted to hear. So they ended the whole thing with Welcome to the Jungle, and it was amazing. And my friend Daquan was there, and he was talking to me about how they're. And then I look at Darcy, and I realize
Darcy's also just standing there.
Yeah, no, they're cool. I like them. So your jacket, that's a GNR thing.
Yeah, man. I got it made special right before I left Cali.
I reach under the table and I just grab the back of Silas's shirt and kind of like try to drag him back up. He lost his pencil down there. Yeah.
Silas sits back up. He banged his knee on the way down.
This is Silas. This is Silas.
What do you work for?
Quick question, out of character. What does Silas look like? Because I don't have a visual
Silas?
here.
Oh,
He
yeah.
He's like 5'10". He's incredibly thin, incredibly lanky. He's Swedish. He's super blonde with bright blue eyes. And he looks like a nerd. He looks like he's wearing a sweater vest.
Perfect. Excellent. As your head's kind of pulled back up and you say, "Who do you work for?" Ritter's like super exuberant confidence falters for a second. It's like, I don't have a job yet. I like totally just moved here. Do you know of a place to work? Yeah, little lady.
Hi.
Really?
Have you both
Where
just like
from?
invaded this booth now, and we're all in one booth? We got Silas and Ashley, and then Darcy and Ritter, and this is all just happening. Okay, this is an amazing visual. Okay,
Ritter hasn't sat down yet.
okay.
I don't think Darcy's sitting down either, but she's like right next to the chair, right next to like the other booth seat, and she's just like, "Oh no, I made myself visible. Oh dear. Okay, let's do this."
Where'd you move from? You look a little pale, so I don't think you came from the West.
No, North Canada, Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, so like even more snow.
Yeah. This is normal.
That's
this is
awful.
like summer for us.
What?
Yeah.
He like
Acres and everything.
He leans over super wide-eyed and he's like, "You have to show me pictures because this is like a hellscape for me right now."
I've drawn so many pictures, and she starts going through her notepad of like she's drawn.
Oh my God.
It looks like weird ghosts in snow, but like snowflakes just being drawn.
Whoa!
As you flip, do either of us notice whether or not you've happened to capture any rose iconography anywhere?
Ooh, smart. Ashley, go ahead and roll that investigation.
This
We're not
always
gonna roll
goes well.
dice today. Don't worry about it.
We're not gonna roll anything. What could possibly go
I mean,
wrong?
I never leveled up, but I don't think I would have put any in investigate anyway. So here we go. Holy fuck!
I'm gonna go with that went well.
I got 2 successes.
Oh, I need to
and
clip of that,
only
please.
I don't think I've ever succeeded in an investigate.
I don't think you have either.
I'm sorry. Sorry, counter roleplay. I just really.
Oh yeah, I should have asked if we could swear. I've just been doing it all night. It's cool.
Okay.
Whatever. Oh, we're fine. So,
Really trying to-
do you know how this works? You are allowed to ask two questions pertaining.
I
to what
just
you're
kind of
looking
want to
for.
ask the question that I had asked was whether or not. I mean, I guess the question is whether or not there is any rose iconography in the diary as it's flipping by.
Mhm.
If I see it.
So, right now, from what you can see, nothing. The closest thing to a rose has been Ghost Ritter, and his jacket. Other than that, excuse me, you don't really notice any roses themselves.
Do I see
And, yeah, go ahead.
anything that relates to any of the mysterious stuff? Like maybe one of the raccoons or something, just like some little
The
bit
raccoon?
to pull her in, so that we know to start talking to her about this stuff.
Yeah. So as Darcy, you're just kind of flipping through some of this, and you draw ghosts. All sorts of people and things as ghosts. And Ashley, one page kind of actually sticks out to you. And it is of this kind of cat-looking creature, and it should be a ghost, but it's a cat ghost, but it's not like a cat. It's like you've seen, like you could see, like, oh, this was a cat. This is clearly a cat ghost. This is a dog ghost. It's weird. It's weird. It sticks out.
What's that?
Oh, monster.
You draw like super wicked monsters. You should be professional.
Thank you.
Did you see that somewhere? Where you saw that, or you make it up?
Oh, I only draw whatever I see. So, yeah. Hi, my name is Darcy.
I'm
It's so
Ashley.
nice to meet all of you.
Hi, Darcy. I'm like Ritter. Nice to meet you. And he like holds out a hand to shake.
Oh, she'll shake your hand. She's like very excited at this point. She's people.
Yeah. He's like he's
Silas, where did you find that?
I don't know.
The park.
Probably the park. You can tell because that's the outside. Those are the benches, and she's like pointing at her drawing. Those are the benches, and that's normally where I sit, and that's where it was. So it definitely looks like the park.
Yeah, and you like totally got the tree like on point.
Thank you.
Do you want to have dinner with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Thank you. I'm new. I
Ritter at
don't
the-
know people. Go.
I was gonna say the Ritter at this point doesn't know if he was invited to that, so he's just like, oh, rad, cool. I'll go back to the bar.
Get over here,
Yeah,
Guns N'
like
Roses.
slowly. What?
Get over here, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, all right, cool. I can sit. Do they have like hot chocolate here? Cause like I'm kind of half frozen right now.
They have really good hot
And he-
chocolate.
Wicked.
Yeah.
He'll sit down. Not to make this seating simulator. But where does Darcy sit first?
Darcy probably like as soon as she invited to dinner, she's like sliding into the booth already. Like she's like, oh, okay. So she's probably
What side-
inside.
What
'cause I
side
think
did she
the
sit
other-
on?
Well, Silas and I were both on the same side, like weirdos, looking at the
Okay.
map. So
So I'll be empty side effectively on the inside.
Okay, cool. Ritter will sit like kind of, I guess, like catty corner to Silas, and kind of like not like avoiding Silas, but kind of like purposely kind of putting himself not directly in front of him.
Ashley's gonna
Probably
just look,
wise.
Ashley's going to just like look at Silas, make a what Ashley thinks is like an imperceivable like head thing, but it's just like the most awkward like, you know, ever.
Is something wrong? What happened? Did you hurt yourself with the sports?
And I'll turn back to Ritter and Darcy. So you're both new here.
Yeah,
That's cool.
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
It's kind of awful
Yeah.
here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not so bad. I don't know. It's a little warmer.
Ashley's gonna look around, crack her knuckles. We should tell you some stuff.
Oh, is this about the principal being a lizard man?
I thought it was robot dinosaur. I have a better photo and everything.
That's so much cooler.
I drew a photo, so I think like I must have been real, right?
Ash is like looking to see what adults are in this place.
And you know it's just Teresa. She's the reason she's not out there. She's probably on a smoke break. She'll be back in a couple minutes. But as you all are sort of talking, going over conspiracy theories about the now missing or possibly deceased principal of Hawthorne Heights Middle School, the camera kind of just starts panning back, flashing out of the Moonies 1950s / pirate themed diner, and kind of off into the distance, panning even further back, and kind of tilts up now, and you could just see the 3 towers of the loop far off in the background, but they are still a presence to behold, and the screen goes dark. We're gonna end there for tonight, my friends.
Sweet.
Well done. Wow,
This
well
is perfect.
done.
This
Now
is
you're
great.
all-
Yeah.
Now go back and watch the
Yes.
episode so we don't have to tell you. No.
Yeah.
I watched half of them already.
Yay! So you're kind of caught up. It's fine. You don't need
Yeah.
to.
I need to go back and watch the
Don't-
finale of last season.
They'll be uploaded later at some point. I'm working on it. Thank you, everybody, though, for coming and hanging out with us. We sincerely appreciate you, especially hanging out for a session 0. I know it's not the most exciting thing to go, but I thought it was really important to see how the Tales from the Loop game really allows for any type of character to be made in any type of setting, and that it is totally empowered by the players, like just allowing them to have, you know, bits of the story how they want it and just mash everything together. I love it. I hope you check it out and play it sometime. It is absolutely my favorite game in the world. And thank you all, my dear players and friends, for coming and joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and do a quick little outro round robin. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let folks know where they can find you on the social medias and any projects that you are involved with. And we'll go ahead and start with Chaotic Rogue.
Ha.
We'll go.
All right.
What?
Well, hi. This has been wonderful. My name's Natalie, also known as Chaotic Rogue, which is where you can find me on Twitter and really kind of anywhere. That's what I always use. I tweet a lot about random TTRPG stuff. I stream regularly on Straticus Academy, specifically 10 p.m. on Mondays for the Conan the Barbarian game, and on Tuesdays at 6 for Dragon Heist. So, yeah, that is, and I've got one other project, but when that starts, I don't know yet. So that's besides the point. And some other irons in the fire. Those will be later. But that's me. So, and I'm also going to, I just took a photo of like the drawings I made, so I'm just going to post that on Twitter really soon. So check that out.
Yes.
Basically what's going to happen is I'll draw like,
with hashtag save Silas.
Hashtag
Yes.
save Silas. I will do hashtag save Silas and it'll be great. Anyways, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for playing. I love Darcy so much. This is
I love this
gosh,
precious girl.
Again, like this just writes itself. Like you as a GM, if you're looking for an easy game as like a first time GM, this is the game to definitely try out.
I love this game.
Triangle. Thank you so much for
Yo,
coming
yo.
out tonight.
Dude, thanks. This is like a great experience, and I think that all of us are just gonna go into crazy hilarity and awesome, fun-loving mystery, to be had as well. So thank you for bringing me on. You guys can find me over at Triangle Art JW on Twitter. But you can also find me either playing or DMing over on the Bimbo Gamers channel on Twitch. As of Friday, I'll be emceeing Monster Hearts. So if you want more raging teenage hormones, be sure to check in with us there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't wait for us to do more, and I hope Silas stays because I want to have more awkward interactions with him.
It's so hard when characters that you love just, have to go away.
Oh yeah,
I was the one who did the stupid thing. I made him 15 years old to start.
Well, that's part of the game. That is literally a mechanic in the game. So, and I mean, maybe by the time that the Flood campaign comes out, the rules will be in there, and we'll have rules for older kids, because I think that's part of the new setting. Is it's slightly older kids, and kids can die. They can be killed.
Ooh.
Like right now,
Cool.
y'all safe. But when that comes out, Daddy Gnome gloves are off.
shit gets real.
Well, let's go ahead, Michael. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and welcome back.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me back. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael. I am the creator / dungeon master of the Dungeons, Dragons, and Dives podcast. It's a 5th edition actual play homebrew Dungeons and Dragons mess. You can check that out anywhere. iTunes, Podbean is what we publish on, and I will swear by it, though most people are like, that sucks. It's been great to me. Yeah. Check us out, DD Dives Cast on Twitter. We're pretty much everywhere else, Dungeons, Dragons, and Dives. And also check out our Twitch channel where we play random video games as we see fit, because we are not hooked up to stream tabletop, but hopefully going to be soon. I'm also going to be in the upcoming, should be coming out very, very shortly, the Hexes and Bows actual play podcast. Which I'm never going to stop mentioning because I'm so excited for it.
Personally attacked here. I hear you. Go.
Whenever it happens, it'll be wonderful.
It will be. It'll be great. It'll be a good time.
Amazing.
Jerk. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you are back. And whether or not you stick with Silas or you bring somebody new into our hearts, either way.
I'm going to stick with him as long as I possibly can. As long as I possibly can.
Fair enough. We'll talk more. We'll
Think
do
of the
stuff.
awkward budding romance.
No. I was trying to do the spy thing. Like, we're just on a date. Like, just be casual. That's why we're on this side of the bench like idiots.
Oh.
No, we're
I
not.
That
wasn't
was
talking
just-
about you.
I was like, not talking
yeah,
about
I
that.
let Silas. I let Silas
This is a
run
Rilus
myself.
thing now.
Okay.
I'm shipping it. Rilus all the way. Oh, and last but not least, Britt. Welcome back. Thank you for coming and playing Ashley.
Thanks for bringing me back. Okay, I'm gonna try to do bullet points for this because the list is too long to get into. I'm at Atomic Firebird on Twitter and Instagram. On Monday nights, I'm on the Greyhawk channel in a Against the Giants campaign, Dungeons and Dragons. Tuesdays, Pro Starters channel, Dungeon World. Wednesday morning, my Starfinder podcasts come out in the morning called Experience Points. And then Wednesday night is this. And then Thursday morning, here's the Hideout Way. It is a Star Wars FFG podcast. That comes out. And I just joined the cast for that. That's the end.
Oh, I'm so excited! I didn't know that you were part of the cast for that.
Oh,
That's
that has been
amazing.
my big secret for the past 3.
That was the secret.
months.
Oh, how did
That
I
was the
miss
secret.
that? That's
big-
amazing.
Secrets. My character's showing up in I think like 2 weeks, so I'm not
Okay,
talking
cool.
about him yet. But
Cool.
I
Good to know.
love him.
Very excited. So it's a good podcast. My name is Nomedic, and you can find me all over the internet at Nomedic, mostly on Twitter and Twitch and Instagram, and really wherever you Google Nomedic, it's me. I am here every Wednesday night now, playing some Tales from the Loop and sharing the coming of age sci-fi adventures of my heart and dreams, desires with you. And I'm super excited and very grateful for the opportunity to play on Encounter Roleplay. So, Will, thank you so much for giving us a shot out here. I'm involved in a bunch of other projects. I stream all the time on a bunch of different stuff, but just hit me up on the Twitters, and you can see my whole week schedule is available there. And just some house closing stuff. Tomorrow, Encounter Roleplay, this channel, is going to be broadcasting a show called Once Upon a Time at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is a D&D 5th edition show in which viewers can actually sign up and join in. So that is super hella fun. And then also tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be playing The King's Hustle, which is a City of Mist show, which is super hella awesome. So definitely make sure that you come back and tune out. If you haven't done so, hit the follow button. If you want to really support the channel, hit that subscribe button and get yourself some seriously awesome emotes. But until next time, guys, we will catch you all later in the loop next week, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Take it easy.